don't.
I can feel the power!
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me. You'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No, we shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, tell me? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And this? These are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, tell me? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No, we shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Once again, welcome back to Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. This is the grand finals, the third and the decider day, in fact, of the finals. Once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie, and tonight with me is, once again, Mike. Mike, how are you tonight?
Well, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Annie. Once again, day three. I'm excited on on the conclusion, by the way, of the Championship Contender Series. And once again, oh my God, I love all of these teams. They've shown great potential. One of them, of course, is none other than DCM Syndicate with 139 points. To be followed that, of course, with the DCM DMT. Both of these teams got already the three-digit mark for their points, and for now, the first game, it's gonna be Sandhawk once again. And for these, for this, I'm just really excited on how this will start. Could be another chicken dinner for Syndicate, or maybe a DMT will start to take it from here. But day three, it's all about gathering as much points and to really just secure your spot as high as possible.
Yes, I completely agree with that. This is the last chance that any of these teams can ever get in order to place at least the top four in the finals. And of course, we can talk about Syndicate. Syndicate managed to put such a big gap towards themselves against the top two, because they are the top one right now, and they managed to place a lot of points in between them and DMT. And so there's a lot of pressure to be had for everyone else below Syndicate. Although Syndicate, they have to make sure that they don't get complacent. And so for all of these teams, really they have to just play the best that they can, because they only have 6 matches to go, 6 matches left to really decide how they will fare in the final rankings in the leaderboards.
And starting already the game right here, we're looking at the perspective of Lons, which these are also one of the teams that have been trying their best, and it just wasn't enough. But for now, it's day number three, the conclusion. They have to give it their all here to at least aim for the top four spot, and to even have the chance to even move higher. But for now, with the game overload, now all of the teams here are just gathering up for resources. securing their buildings, and just really waiting for picks and just waiting for the right opportunity.
Yes, and in normal Sunhawk fashion, it seems that Lons already has one member that has been eliminated just now. And
Mhm.
so the first blood will go to Crown Whites. Yesterday, I was worried about Crown. They kept getting picked off so early, but now the tables have turned. And so this is a good omen for Crown. And with that one member from Lons getting taken down, Lons is now in a numbers disadvantage because everyone else still has the four members standing. But here, TTS Esports gets the knock on NRS, and that is a full confirmation. One elimination going to the name of Cloud.
And now for TTS Esports here, they do sense. I mean, they're just really going in for a couple of sprays, but of course, they're still 3 minutes into the game, and really at this point is to gather as much resources as possible because especially now looking at their builds, their loadouts, the level 1 helmet, the level 1 armor, it's just gonna not gonna be enough later on if they keep that up. But of course, once again, they just really have to secure a lot of loot first before they look for enemies, before they hunt them.
Yes, that's the plan. In the first part of the game, you have to get all those resources in order to secure a good chance of surviving in the late game. Get those grenades, get those healing kits. And so for now, since this is Sunhawk, it's a small map. And so you don't want to use any vehicles and kind of make a ruckus all around because you will be heard. But over here in Paradise Resort, it seems that NG has taken control of the area. No one's contesting. And so far, I saw that the circle a while ago, it just basically circled around the island. And so there's no one part that is being favored right now. But stage one will be closing in 2 minutes. And so we will be moving on to stage two later on. And we'll be able to see how which teams rather will be favored by the circle and which teams will have to rotate sooner or later.
And exactly for these teams right here, for the side of Game Over Sim, again, there's still a lot of there's very isolated from all of the teams, though they are somewhat near another team, but they're at the lower ground, so they're at a disadvantage if they get spotted, and that's Crown. We've also witnessed them for 2 days. We watched them play rather, and they also are one of the teams to give their all, but still not enough. So it's really gonna be a battle for all of these teams to grab that spot number 4 for the last 6 games.
Yeah, and speaking of the top four, actually, I did mention that this was season three of the Maldives Championship Contender Series, and so those who got the top four in season one and season two, they actually qualified for a separate event. And so for the season three, that will go the same. The top four will be qualifying for another event as well, which is with a different prize pool. So that should be the goal of the teams of these 15 teams for now. But right now, actually, there's some action going on. Zeke 66 is down. NG will have to revive him, but all the while, Crown versus Simp, they also have their own skirmish going on in the other part of the map, and that ends with Game Over Simp's complete elimination. That will be the first team going down for day number 3. And speaking of going down, Whites will need that revive, although he does have 2 eliminations to their name, and Ice Suit has that opportunity to revive him. And so, Crown will be out of the woods for now.
And yes, looking here for all of the teams. So far, so good with 53 players alive. And once again, Simp being the first team to go down for game number 13. It's gonna be rough for them later on, but of course, they managed to rack up at least a few points. It still gives them a few chances to fight later on. And yeah, from here on out, it's gonna be a chill game. Though it's Sandhawk, we're gonna expect a lot of bloodshed later on because of course 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer map, and then add that up with a lot of teams not really going in for engagements, for early engagements, then we're gonna see a lot of that later on.
And we can see that the circle going into stage 2, it has favored around the northern part of the map, and one of those areas is actually Paradise Resort, which we saw NG a while ago, but it looks like NG will be moving out of that area and they would be replaced by TTS taking control. But over here, Lons walked away with all four members alive, but they are getting shot at. Rather, NRS is getting shot at, and that's not a good thing because they already lost one member. And taking a look here, there might be Fen in the northwestern side of Retired, but there is one other squad nearby. This brown dot over there, who could that be? And what's gonna happen now? It seems that none of these squads are giving away their location for now, but DZX, he has eyes on members of
Fennel.
FAN. No, it looks like FAN, they took a turn into the building and NRS's DZX is none the wiser, but right now, will they be able to see his mother? This will be a 1 versus 1,
He
but
goes down.
DZX will go down by the hands of Taza's FAN. And right now, it's not over yet. Retired. They are inside the building, but there are members of another squad, Lona, I believe, inside. And they have one knock in their side. And right now, NRS is lucid, trying to get those kills in the bag, trying to get those knocks, but those bullets won't be connecting for now. And two teams inside this building, trying to get those eliminations, trying to get those bullets in, trying to make a move. But for now, Retired, he won't be getting those skills for now.
And exactly, with the Night Raiders here, looking for an opening, looking for a leeway right here. But of course, they're already low on health, with one members of the Lonar here already getting killed. But of course, here with an off-screen kill from a member from the Lons will also go down, and that actually marks the end for Lona for this game number 13 and the rest of the teams here. Just a lot of engagement right here with SDMZNG making the move as well for this game. And again, it's just a lot of these teams, a lot of these promising teams that are trying their best to secure a lot of points. With SDMZNG, with Night Raiders, I mean, we've seen them. But for now, I think it's looking kind of rough for Night Raiders. They have two members remaining. I mean, we've seen them pop off in day number 2. We're curious on how they're gonna pull this off in the last day. And all of these teams, really, it's just gonna be an exciting conclusion for this to all of the teams to battle it out to the end and who will win actually.
Yes, all eyes on the 15 teams that qualified for this grand finals because this is their last chance to even get all those points in the bag. But for now, the circle will be closing in with about 80% land and a bit of water from the river. But for now, it looks like there would be some teams that will need to rotate. Talking about Game Over Esports over there at the south, so they have to rotate sooner or later. They still have 0 eliminations. They haven't run into anyone just yet. And so if they really want to catch up or not give a chance for the lower ranking teams to catch up to them and potentially lose their top 3 standing, they have to do something. They have to go to where all the action is and try to get those eliminations in the bag. Although they can also get another chance by getting those placement points. But meanwhile, Pew Pew actually taking some damage from somewhere, but he's just walking by, and so he will be going down for now. But all the while, Tranquility over here, it seems that they are spread out around this compound, and whether or not they will spot the members of NRS, they might be able to get some pickoffs in the bag. But for now, that won't be holding true because they still have 0 eliminations, and so far, it seems that Tranquility will be disengaging for now.
And here for Tranquility, the good thing about this is they got the whole area for themselves. Though there's one member inside their area, but there's just one member. That's for them. Unless they can take them one by one, and also the rest of the Night Raiders here. I mean, they're also stuck. I mean, just waiting for them to come out to get some cheeky kills before they move on because they're trying their best here to actually go for a lot of placement points. But if you also look at the top 1 team right now, the Syndicate, with their 139 points once again, they do got one down teammate, and it's just gonna be up to that to maybe look for some proper strategy later. But of course, we have to look at SDMG right now, just looking for potential kills right here, trying to connect the shots. But so far, so good for them.
Yeah, so far so good, but NG, they have been spotted by DMT, and this will be a grenade battle for now. None of those grenades are connecting for now. No one's health is going down. DMT, they have all four members left standing. That goes the same for NG, but NG does have the high ground. But still, no one is getting picked off. The kill feed is a little bit quiet, but NG, their plan, as well as DMT's plan, however, they are trying to get some pick-off, some kind of advantage over the other. But just taking a look at the table, actually, one of the members of DMT are on the red. They probably need a revive for now, so that's an advantage to NG, but still, nothing's happening just yet. Everyone's just biding their time, waiting for the right moment to strike. But for now, NG, my bets are on MG because they do have the high ground, and I do like the high ground.
For 15 teams and now almost 13 minutes into the game, still 13 teams are alive. We're really gonna expect a lot of fights later on. Could be even third parties, a lot of third parties involved, or even fourth parties. And it's just exciting to see that later on. Because for now, from Syndicate, Mad gets a grenade down already right there. And also here, looking for the side of SDMZNG, throwing their grenades as well against DMT Hunter, who is alone right now. And the rest of SDMZ are also at least grouped together. The rest of DMT members are a bit farther, but I do understand their strategy for this one is if they get to bait out the members for SDMZ, especially Zeke 66, if his head just pops out even just a pixel, then from DMT they will be able to punish that.
Yes, and that is the plan of DMT. But for now, it seems that it's Hunter who is trying to throw those grenades. And that grenade, one of the grenades actually landed on a man a while ago. And man was almost low on health, but they were able to back away and heal. But for now, it seems that not much is happening between NG and the DMT. But this will be a standoff for now. But it looks like DCM Syndicate all the while still hasn't run into anyone. Although there is another squad nearby their position, they still don't have any kills in the bag, and they have to get those kills if they want to keep their place in the top one. But looking at the screen, Crown Joker getting that domination against Fen Returns, and so Fen Returns are not. They are not doing well. But speaking of doing well, Crown, however, Crown is just dominating this day. Yesterday, I was a little bit worried about their performance, but now with 6 eliminations to their name, that's absolutely amazing. And I'm hoping for the best for this team because they aren't placed so high in the leaderboards and they have a lot of catching up to do. And now they have that chance. They do have that chance to catch up. And speaking of catching up, it seems that even OTF and NRS, they have their own skirmish somewhere around in the map. And so we're just hoping to see the next team to be eliminated from this map.
And really, I'm curious to see on how they all will react. Especially this is game number 1, last day. All of the teams here are just gonna give it their all, and up to this point, the pressure is on. All of the teams, the pressure is on for the pressure is up rather for all of the teams here, especially for Syndicate, who has to keep that number 1 spot, and the rest of the teams who just have to stop them from taking that easily.
And that's the plan. You have to stop Syndicate because they are the top one. They all have such a big gap from top number 2. But for now, Syndicate, they haven't run into a lot of teams just yet. They only have 1 elimination to their name so far. And speaking of elimination, we see one getting picked off, and that should be DCM DMT if my eyes aren't deceiving me. And that was the top number 2 team eliminated from this first map in the grand finals day 3. But the joke's not over. It seems that Tranquility is also in trouble with 1 member needing that revive and 1 member already eliminated. They are getting bombarded by grenades, and will someone go down? And that is the question. But for now, it seems that they are out of the woods. They can reset. They can reset their locations, their positions, and so we will just have to wait and see what's gonna happen now.
Exactly. For all of these teams, really, I have to give props to them. All of them, they were just able to do that. I mean, with DMC, DMT, they got eliminated, and that's what I was talking a while ago. Because all of the teams, they do feel the pressure, and their top priority is just to take them down. I mean, for you to get that top four spot, then you have to take down the top one, the top two, the top three, and you have to do that as early as possible. Taking DMC DMT down is probably one of the best moves. Another is to take Syndicate down, and once again, you kind of have that at least a fighting chance to at least get to the top four.
Yes, and that's something that I really want to see right now because as I can see, it just seems that it's a little bit unclear for us how this game will end because for now you saw already a while ago DMT did lose their whole team. They got eliminated off, they got picked off, and it hasn't even gone down to the double digits in the number of teams still alive, and so they don't get the luxury of getting some placement points to their name, but still getting a decent amount of eliminations. That's something that these teams should also prioritize. And for that to happen, they have to be aggressive. They have to be aggressive. They have to take risks. They have to peek out their heads and throw those grenades and gather those resources as well. But for now, it seems that um that much isn't happening just yet, but we are hoping for the best for these 15 teams. And now it seems that we are down to the last 4 teams, however. And game over OTF. It's almost game over for them, losing one more member to that revive. And now Minto, the last person standing, scared and alone in this building. What will happen now with that circle at stage 7? 25 seconds left before it ends. And now it's between NG, TRQ, OTF, and Syndicate. OTF, TRQ, Syndicate only have one member left standing, and however, ANG still doing well with 9 eliminations and all 4 members still standing.
And now four members here for NG is looking good, especially now Tranquility is already down to the last 3 teams, and it's looking good as what I've said for the side of NG with 4 members all alive, and Syndicate with 1 member, OTF with 1 member, and just that one is down, and the last enemy that's gonna be for the side of Syndicate just doing his best, Pew Pew just trying to get them down, but that would be too hard for them to do it, as now the chicken dinner for game number 13 and day number 3 for this match really is gonna be up for grabs for them.
Yes, NG cleaning up the mess in the last few seconds of the game. They did have that numbers advantage. They had all 4 members left standing, and everyone else was just a solo squad. But for now, let's take a look at the squad. The squad's statistics, overall ranking. They managed to bag the 5th place. And the match points with 22 and total points of 93. They're almost there. They're almost crossing the 100-point mark. But take a look at the total eliminations, though 12. And so these teams, they're just shining on day number 3. We were worried about them in day number 2 that they weren't able to bag enough points to place at least top 4. But for now, it seems that for the likes of SDMZ New Generation, it's just working out for them. Taking a look at their stats once again, Lucy getting 0 eliminations, Sante getting 5, Man getting 4, and Zeke 66 getting 3.
Exactly. For this team, SDMZNG, we've also seen their potential from even the first day, and we move on to second day and now third day. I think they're really giving it their all for this, and especially putting a stop to DMC Syndicate and DMC DMT, because
Yeah.
DCM DMT rather. Sorry, but yeah, for NG really, it seems like they're sending a message, and that message is that you're not gonna get that piece of cake that easily. You're gonna have to go through us. And now we actually have a comparison here for OTF, though the damage is a bit only just a bit on the side of OTF. The knocks, however, are kind of on the fair side for both of these teams. Eliminations is more on the NG, and really for the total points, again NG, because they were just complete. In the last phase of the game, it was hard for OTF to fight back. Oh, they only have 1 member, and NG, they were just all alive and just ready to just run them down. The only thing that OTF and Syndicate has a fighting chance was to use the power of the walls, etc. And just using that to their advantage. But it was just too late because NG, they were also strategic with it. They just all went as a group, and that led to their victory.
Yes, absolutely. And here are the top players. Of course, is some of these names are actually new faces in the top players. We can see Joker getting 3 eliminations, Mintox getting 4, Man as well as Titan, all getting 4 eliminations, and Anthe from our chicken dinner winner, NG, getting, of course, that 5 eliminations. And look at that damage, however. Titan getting 884 in the bag. And these players, they're just on fire tonight. And we can see, of course, NG getting that chicken dinner with 22 total points in this map. OTF coming in second with 15, Syndicate with 11, Tranquility with 9, Crown with 8, CND and TTS with 5 each, Fen having 3, and NRS with 2. LHC gets 1, but however, for these 5 teams, they're not doing really well. Game over, DMT, Simp, Lona, and Lons will walk away with 0 points. And actually, taking a look at DMT, they're not doing really well. They couldn't even bag an elimination, and they got picked off so early on. They were probably there was still at least 10 teams standing when they got picked off, and so that was really worrying. But for now, Syndicate 150 points, still in the top 1, and they have a huge gap from DMT going in number 2.
And we do look at now that NG has already moved up once again to rank number 5 with 93 points, just 4 more points rather, to actually kick off, to actually be on the top 4, and Tranquility to move to top 5. And this again, once again, it could actually be the start of NG's relentless victory later on. But for the rest of these teams, they do have the chance. It's kind of, the chances are slim, however, for the rest of the teams that are on the bottom half, because they really have to give, I think, more than 100%. And that's gonna be hard because all the other teams are doing that as well. You have a lot of threats here. You have SDM ZNG, you have the DCM Syndicate, you have the DCM DMT. I mean, it's just a lot to catch up to, and it's just gonna be hard for the rest of them. But still hoping, however, that they do manage to rack a few more points to at least get to the top 4. And here we are with the top players. That's 2 members of the team of Syndicate are here with the number 1 and number 2. That's Mad and Pew Pew. Will be followed by Ryu Days from Game Over Esports and Soli from Game Over Lawns. For now, match 13, that goes again to SDMZNG. Congratulations, you all deserve that. And I think all of the teams have to be ready for their wrath later on.
Yes, I agree. Actually, some of these teams, they are shining in this final day. This day number 3 of the grand finals of Ooredoo's Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. Once again, we just witnessed match number 1 for today. This was the Sandhawk map. In the next coming minutes to come, there will be match number 2, our first Erangel map. But before we get to that, we will be going on a short break. So for those of you tuning in, thank you so much. But don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a bit.
Brozomi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Welcome back once again to the Maldives Championship Contender Series. Of course, we've witnessed match number one. That was a win for SDMZNG. And as we head on to three rounds rather of Erangel to be followed by two last matches of Miramar. I'm excited to see. Once again, your shoutcasters for tonight. I'm Moik, and with me is Annie.
Yes, thank you so much, Mike. And that first Sandhawk map, actually the final Sandhawk map for the grand finals, that was absolutely on fire. We saw the likes of, for example, Crown. They were dominating that match. They managed to get a lot of eliminations in the bag. And on the other hand, there were some teams that were in the top part of the table that got picked off really early. And so this is a surprise. There's a lot of tables that are turning, but still, although some of these teams are performing better than yesterday, and some teams are falling off just a little bit, I'm still hoping for the best for everyone because this is still the second map out of six for today, their last chance, the last day of the finals, and so really hoping to see some really good action, some really good aggression from these 15 wonderful teams.
And down to the last five matches, we're gonna have to actually focus more on the teams that are gonna be battling it out for the top four, because these teams, we've witnessed them since day one to give their all, and it's just gonna be for day number three that it's just gonna be a lot of thrilling moments. And all of these teams, really, I know they did their best, but for these top teams, I mean, it's exciting to see who will take on top number one, the second, the third, and the fourth. Because I mean, this is the championship, the grand finals, and yeah, I mean, looking forward to most of these teams, especially with Syndicate, if they're gonna maintain their spot on number one, to be followed by DMP, and of course NG, who is currently at spot number five. They've made their win a while ago, so it's again promising to see on how they're gonna maintain that, and also Night Raiders, who we've witnessed yesterday, if they're gonna get that kind of momentum once again in the last five matches, and for other teams as well.
Yes. Hopefully, we can see some improvement from those who are ranking just a little below the top five. Because here, top number two to top number 3 rather to top number 5, they are within the 90 points mark. And so just a one tip of the scale, they can actually overtake each other. And so for now, actually, game over simp. They are nearby another squad that will be crown, and so whether or not they run into each other, this is something that's exciting to see. But for now, it seems that game over simp, they probably don't have that information just yet. That goes the same for crown, and so it'll be a little bit quiet, but they will eventually run into each other. But both of these teams, they are getting those resources in the bag, and so we're gonna expect something really exciting later on because they're all geared up. But for now, just taking a look at the table, it's promising. I think we can see the potential top 4, maybe top 5 teams, but for those 6 and below, they need to step up if they want to catch up.
And with these teams, once again, with Game Over, they've also shown a lot of potential and tranquility as well. We've seen them day 1 and day 2. And also with Cyanide, there's I can see the potential, but they really have to step it up here to actually go for another round of challenge for these 5 teams. But if you also look at it really, with these 5 teams, they have been giving it their all. Um, so for Cyanide and the Night Raiders, it's gonna be big of a challenge to reach the 90 point mark. And even then, when they do that, usually these 5 teams they would have already moved to the 3-digit mark, which is gonna be dangerous for the rest of these teams.
Yes, they are nearing the 100 point mark, and that will just leave everyone else a hard time to catch up because looking at Syndicate, they're practically unreachable because they have a 45 point gap from DMT. And although they didn't have maybe a double digits, and I don't believe they placed. Oh wait, they did place in the top 5, so they have some placement points. Still, that just means Syndicate isn't planning to be complacent. Although they have that luxury of being complacent, they aren't. They are still trying their best to widen that gap from DMT, for example. But DMT versus Game Over, though, that is a 6 point mark. And so this is what I was talking about, the possibility of tipping the scales. Just a one chicken dinner or maybe just a one really good game. Speaking of really good game, White shoots at Simp. It seems that White will secure that kill, and this will be the first blood going in to the side of Crown White.
Exactly, and it looks promising here for Crown, but currently they're at 14th spot, so it's still gonna be a lot of challenge from here on out. And but right now they're against Simp though, which is also the 15th place. With that in mind, if they if they're able to take them out, they can actually bury Simp down to the ground while they try their best to move up the leaderboard and maybe even to the fourth. Still, for these teams, it's looking kind of slim. But once again, I'm kind of optimistic on how they'll pull this out. And for the rest of these teams, really, the goal here is just to stick to their current position and maybe even kick a few teams off the ground.
Yes, that's the plan. The plan is to get as much eliminations as possible while keeping your survivability high. Because once again, dead men tell no tales, and so if you're dead, you can't do anything for your team, and so you have to survive to at least to try to get those placement points in the bag, and as well as try to get some pickoffs to get some eliminations for your team. But for now, it's a little bit quiet. Everyone's just rotating to another area because that circle will be closing in stage 1 with 1 minute and a few more seconds, 20 more seconds in the timer. And we will be moving on to stage 2 really soon. And so, looks like Game Over. Lona might be running into Tranquility here. Tranquility must have heard those vehicles coming in. And so they are getting ready. They're taking their positions. And we'll just have to wait and see if any of these teams will get picked off really soon.
Now, for Tranquility side right here, I also do understand that could be they're playing for safety here. The goal, however, is they have to really gain a lot of kill points here before they focus on the placement points. The Tranquility is going in for a couple of sprays. The shots didn't connect, going in for another round just to hit them. But of course, the rest of the team from the Tranquility side, right there, one of them actually is down, by the way. and now just throwing in some smoke grenades to actually help them out because seems like they're now at a disadvantage. Seems like he's being hunted, and now Dihani here is trying to avoid him getting shot, however, and he's just gonna hide from here on out as they are just looking for him.
Yes, actually, Danny has put some distance away from the action, but still he got shot at. We can see that he had some health going down, but for now it looks like there was a Molotov. They have spotted Danny from afar, but Ivan Titi, he's nearby. He's nearby the action. Lona trying to storm into his part of the building. And for speaking of Lona, it seems that Yaish is also with their snipers out, trying to see if they can pick off from this position over here, quite far away from the action, but all the while, it seems that Tranquility's identity will be going down, will get that confirmation, and they get eliminated. One more point going to the side of their opponent, but for now, Simp, they're not doing really well. They're getting eaten by the circle, and one team member needs that revive, but over here, Crown and Simp. Crown and Simp, they also have their story to tell, and it seems that we are still at a standoff, although Whites got picked off. Still, three-man team for Crown and Simp. They are doing quite well. They have several team members still up. I believe that would be three as well. And so no numbers advantage for either side, but they are at the standoff and they are outside of the play zone, and so they have to decide, will they rotate or will they bide their time, try to get the skill. Speaking of which, Badman goes down from that grenade, and seems that Simp needs to revive two of their members. Goodman, last man standing, gets
Goodman.
a shot on Isut. Will that be a confirmation? It doesn't seem to be the case just yet, but he is in trouble. He's low on health and he has to worry about that circle and Crown as well in the distance.
And now here, Simp just trying to take them down. Still though, they have to face a bit of a damage from the danger zone, but they can't move here unless they eliminate Crown. And there goes Joker is now down. Goodman getting that spray and getting a kill on that Joker. The rest of the Crown members, however, just trying to at least revive some of the team by giving up, by throwing actually smokes right here. And Goodman is just looking for a way to actually get an off-angle kill right here, or maybe rotate to a better position, especially that he is the last member standing for the team. And now he just really has to look for a way to get out of this mess as soon as possible when you're facing against Crown with two members still alive.
Yeah, mess is actually an understatement, but speaking of which, Game Over Esports Natsu, they have spotted moving vehicles of Game Over OTF, another team of their flag name, but still those shots won't be connecting to those vehicles just yet. We don't see anything in the kill feed for now, but Game Over Esports, they will have to rotate as well if they want to chase those kills. But for now, it seems they have decided to hold down their location here. They hold down those positions, but they might have spotted another squad at the distance, and so they have to decide, will they look over to the eastern side where there were moving vehicles of LHC right now, another squad as well, but also there might be a third party coming in very soon. Taking a look at the map, but still LHC versus Game Over Simp versus potentially another team. This area right here, there's a lot of squads, and so I'm excited to see some action.
And exactly right here, let's look at the side of the Game Over Esports. They're hunting down Fen Returns, which is also the 13th team. And if Fen goes down, that's gonna be hard to catch up for the last 4 games. For now, the option for Fen Returns is to really just run away as soon as possible. Game Over Esports there are trying to hunt them down. Lona, they're also running there with their vehicles. And I think Game Over Esports are at a disadvantage since they're cornered at this spot. Though they can use the house to their advantage and to just get a peek, an off-angle kill. And they're really going in for a couple of sprays, but the shots won't connect.
It doesn't seem to be a case right now. The kill feed is a little bit quiet, although there are at least 4 squads in Katka. Still, it's a bit quiet. Although I saw Game Over, they had one member that needed that revive, but that confirmation just wasn't there. But all the while, Lons and NG in some other part of the map, they also have their own story. And now it seems that Lons, they're disengaging for now. They have to secure these positions, but their eyes on the under squad, their potential eliminations. They need those eliminations. Lons, where are they standing? It seems that they are standing in the 10th place. But speaking of which, it seems that Tranquility is in trouble. They only have two members left standing. And so, whether or not they survive, there's still 15 teams left standing. And so, whether or not they survive, they might be the first to get picked off. Speaking of pick off, Goodman is still doing really well. Takes one from Crown. But it doesn't seem to be a confirmation just yet. And Goodman, he's not faring really well either. Because take a look at that. No more healing items. This might be the end. And he's getting gate capped by Crown. And so all he's really doing, I think I can read his mind. All he's really doing is denying that kill from Crown. It's like, okay, I'm gonna die, but I'm not gonna give you that extra point. That's what he's thinking.
Exactly. And with that, actually, from Goodman right there, of course, he will probably go down with that. For the crowd, for the side of Crown as well, one last member. Oh, yeah, I mean, for Goodman right here, he does still have some few med packs to actually heal him up and gives him the chance to fight back later on. And I think that's just the goal here is to just be that nuisance to a lot of teams that will fight later on and to at least gather as much as points possible for his team. And here we get to take a look for the side of SDMZNG. At least they have the higher ground right now. The only threat that they can the only threat that's gonna be dangerous for them is that he's gonna be greeted with a lot of the teams, especially with the side of Lawns here, just really pushing it
Oh.
up here. I mean Lona, I'm sorry, and the grenade did hit him. But for now, they're just looking for ways, looking for an angle here to get inside. But you're of course there's four members of the team. You have to be careful, and there are also a third party trying to get themselves a part of this. And it seems like Luzums is down and eliminated right away by the team of Game Over Lawns. Of course, that was Solly, which has also been a good MVP for the past few days, for the past few days, and the past few games. And Tops will go down as well from Game Over Lona. And that would be actually the end for their team as the first team to be eliminated for this match.
Yes, and this will be between NG and Lons from now on. Lons was the third party. They eliminated their opponent, the last two members of the first eliminated team, which was Lona. But now NG with the high ground, getting those grenades, trying to get those pickoffs. A while ago, NG had a really good shot against Lona. They threw that grenade, and that was a beautiful kill against Yaish. And that just gave them a really big advantage. But for now, it seems that Lucid, all the way here, a good distance away from Lons, they will try to get those pickoffs. They will try to get those eliminations in the bag. But for now, it seems that Lons will be rotating away, actually. They are on those vehicles. But it doesn't stop Lucid, however, trying to get those shots in the bag, but none of them will be connecting for now. And so, all the while, Syndicate over here, it's a little bit quiet for them. They still haven't got those eliminations. And that might just go on to luck, actually. They haven't run into any of them, and it just seems that they're kind of a little bit out of luck. But although I do have the hope that they might get those placement points in the back and they will potentially get some kills later on in the late game. But for now, it's a little bit quiet on their side. And speaking of which, Crown is the second team to get eliminated from this map.
Exactly. And for all of these teams, once again, it's gonna be a challenge. 5 more games, and the task to have a move here of all the teams, really. So for now, we're gonna be focusing more again on the top half. That's gonna be the top 8 teams, especially that most of these teams are up to 70 plus points, to be followed by 90 plus and 100 plus. And for these teams, really, especially with Night Raiders right now, we're looking at it. They have that kind of a disadvantage. They're being surrounded, but a couple of sprays right here from Syndicate Rips will go down and will have to hide from there because he's very, very low on health and will wait for his teammates because he's actually isolated. That's a big disadvantage, especially when you're in an open area. Where AO here just trying to actually get a shot right there at the top, but it's just gonna be hard. And now they're gonna move and they're gonna risk it all here, getting sprayed. Ayo actually getting hurt right here and will have to heal it up. They're actually going in around, just trying to avoid the team, and will fight later on because, of course, that is DMT. They have the higher ground, though one of them is getting sprayed, and seems like all of them are getting sprayed right there. They're just Syndicate here is just trying to avoid the shots as of now.
Yeah, Syndicate versus DMT, though. The top one versus the top two. That would be interesting. And in an open field, no less. Open field battles are just something else. But speaking of something else, Fen Returns is in trouble. They are surrounded by Syndicate and Fen. Taza Fen, the last man standing, very low on health. But he has the opportunity to heal. But how long can he hold out for? Right now, it doesn't look really good for Taza. He can try to get at least 1 or 2 eliminations from this skirmish, but it's not looking very good since Syndicate still has 3 members left standing, although Ayo was picked off. Wow, that grenade just didn't do that damage, but for now it seems that we're in a standoff. Fen, they managed to get away. Taza still not out of the woods, but they are getting low on health, and sooner or later that grenade just bounced back, and that just distracted me just a little bit, but they're doing really well, and looks like this will be the end of tranquility from some other part of the map. Fen returns. Taza still trying their best to survive in this corner of the building, but how long can they hold out for? That is the question. LHC, however, spots Game Over Esports, throw some grenades, but there is a potential third party in the southwestern part of their position. Potential other. Oh, actually, it seems that it was Fen Returns that was on their western side, but all the while, TTS versus NRS as well. There's a lot of things happening 18 minutes into the Aragle game, and we're kind of just, wait a minute, what's happening over here? What's happening over there? NRS has 2 members that needs that revive, and so lots of exciting things, but the question is, who will come out victorious? That won't be Fen Returns, because it seems he finally met his end.
And Fen Returns really goes down right there. But looking at the perspective of DMT right now, once again, they do have the higher ground, and they're just really trying to shoot that, trying to connect the bullets. But as of now, it's not gonna end a life just yet. And of course, off-screen kill right there, it will eliminate PTS Esports will be eliminated for this one as the 11th team for this match. Now here for SDMZNG, one of the members goes down, and the rest of the team here for the Cyanide are just really looking for a way. I mean, they do have that area to actually seek shelter. That's good. But for the later stages of the game, that's gonna be hard, especially when you're gonna be involved in a lot of third parties. And that's the same case for Syndicate. And with 2 kills, they're also aiming for the placement points to even widen the gap. Especially that the DMT poses a threat to their ranking right now. And yeah, it's just gonna be up to these 5 teams, especially with Tranquility going down with only 1 kill. They could be surpassed by NG with just 4 more points. And if we do look at here right now, DMT just trying to look for information, go for a bit of a loot, and then just really wait for other teams to go as well.
Yes, and this will be a waiting game even for us. But for now, it seems that Syndicate and EMT, they still are going at it against each other. Syndicate also spots a third party, Cyanide, from a distance. That's a red on the side of Cyanide, and it seems that this will be over for Game Over Sim somewhere out there, but Pew Pew needs that revive as well. Syndicate still has 2 members, healthy members left standing. Cyanide will be pushing into their position, but Syndicate, they are holding out, and so this will be between these 2 teams. Cyanide rather, they're going down one after the other. 2 members needing that revive, 2 last members left standing, although numbers advantage going to Cyanide. Still, Syndicate, they are doing well. They are inside the building, but they are getting bombarded. That is the disadvantage. But for now, DMT versus NRS, however, DMT throwing those grenades, but those won't be connecting for now. But DMT out in the distance where Syndicate and Cyanide are also having their standoff. Cyanide trying to bombard Syndicate's location with grenades, but none of those damages will be hitting Syndicate for now. And so, Cyanide, actually, they managed to revive their 2 members that are down, but for now, it seems that they won't be picking off any members of Syndicate anytime soon.
And there we go. Game Over Esports will go down as the rank number 9. And now, looking at these teams, a while ago, it reminded me of a scenery of of a raid. And with that, really also marks the end of Syndicate. And also for these teams, really, it's up to the last 7 teams. And actually, talking about Syndicate, they actually went down here with TMT. They have the chance to actually surpass them or minimize their gap. But here, they're going into the fray right here, going in for a lot of damage. The vehicle goes in, and NG Eman goes down as well. The empty Fisherman trying to shoot them down. The vehicle is gonna go away as the MG is gonna be eliminated here. And DMT, I mean, it's looking good right now for DMT. All members are alive and well. For the Night Raiders, they only have 2. Once again, they could be a nuisance for the third parties that will happen later on. But for now, really, it's just gonna be a battle for positions here, especially that all of the teams are just trying their best to stay away from the middle as much as possible because you're an easy target if you're staying at the middle. And all of these teams right now, the goal for Lons is to just disrupt their engagements later on. For Soli right here, another remarkable player going in for a couple of sprays, just being a nuisance to all of the teams, and they just have to deal with him as soon as possible. TMT here, they're trying their best not to lose anyone, but seems like one of them will go down. Fisherman will try his best to help his teammates right here, as now he's gonna be the last member alive. Hunter is still down, but of course, trying their best once again to be alive as right now.
And we might be seeing Shanu in the good performing players because he is dominating, but all the while Cyanide with all 4 members still standing. They do have six eliminations to their name, and that's just great for their side, but not for long. Cyanide does have 2 members needing that revive, and this circle is at stage 7, and so you can expect that these 4 last teams standing, they will be taking their positions around the
He goes
corners of the
down.
circle, but Blanky goes down, and that is one last member of Cyanide that's still alive. Whether or not he can revive the rest of his players, that's something that we will see sooner or later, but for now, Lons doing really well with 9, just 9 eliminations to their name, and all the while Cyanide does get picked off. Now we're down to 2 teams. This will be between Lons and who was that? Who was that? That was LHC. LHC, 1 member going down through a grenade, but they have taken their positions. Mighty low on health. Solely still up and running. Still out for blood, but that smoke will be hiding his position for now. But Goat as well in the field. Will be a battle of utilities, battle of grenades and smokes. But for now, it seems that Toma has other ideas, going around in circles with his vehicle. But with that position, he has a good shot on LHC. Will he survive? It seems that Toma will be going down,
Go.
and this chicken dinner will go to the squad of Game Over Lawns. This second match will be going to their hands. Congratulations, Lons.
Exactly. For Lons to actually win this, it actually starts their steps already. I mean, I've already said that a while ago. They do have the chance to fight back and to be part of the top 4. And really, for Lons right here, now moving up to the fifth spot. I'm even with just game 2, 4 more games, and I'm really just excited on how this will end because the winners as of now are usually unpredictable. We got NG. I mean, we kind of expect that because they also won a few chicken dinners in the past few days. Now with Game Over Lawns, oh my God, this could
Solely.
actually be, this could actually be the start of their wins. For now, we still got 4 more games, and once again, it's just gonna be the battle of the top 4 who will actually win this series.
Just taking a look, the stats of solely 8 eliminations and 1,270 damage. Wow, that is absolutely crazy performance here. He's just dominating that match. And so we are moving on to match number 14's match summary. Of course, 56 eliminations, 61 knockouts, 17,896 total healings, 5 grenade eliminations, and 32 assists. Unfortunately, we will be seeing 0 vehicle eliminations. But still, you were right about some of these teams just shining today. Some different names putting their putting basically their banner on the leaderboards. But for now, comparison between Lawns and DMT. DMT does have more damage with 2012 on their side, but solely, of course. I was mentioning this a while ago. That is impressive damage with 1,217 and 8 eliminations. And so that that performance just contributed so much to Lons securing that chicken dinner for this map.
And with Lons, really, especially with Solly, we've watched we've watched them play, and it was always unfortunate for them because you have a member like Solly who have been getting a lot of kills for the team, a lot of points, but still during on a confrontation they usually lose, and now that they have the win, it sort of feels I think for me it's kind of encouraging for the team that now finally Solly's efforts are getting paid off with the rest of his team, and they could actually have the chance again to move even to the top four, especially that now that they're holding the fifth spot.
Yes, I agree. And that is a chance for Lons to take. And for now, if they have that momentum, they can secure maybe even the top four, perhaps top three or top two even. But for now, they secure 21 points in the top place. And with that chicken dinner coming in second will be DMT with 15, Cyanide with 13, LHC with 9, OTF with 8, and RS with 5. And with 3 points, Crown, Syndicate, and Simp. So that was the top 9 teams of this match. And so coming in at top 10, we gotta expect maybe in the threes and twos and maybe some zeros. And actually, there's only 1 0 that to be Fen Returns. They're not doing really well in this map, but they do have 4 more maps left, so they shouldn't worry all too much. But for Game Over and Tranquility, they only bag 1 point for now. And NG, TTS, and Lona, they all get 2 points to their name for this match. And so for those teams that haven't secured a really good ranking for now, they have to step up because look at this. Top number 7 is at 92 and Game Over Esports top 3 at 100. And so that's such a little gap, just one chicken dinner and those tables can turn. But Syndicate, however, they're still at the top of their game, 153 points, although DMT is closing in on that gap with 120, about 33 points in gap as compared to the previous matches with 50. Still, DMT really performing really well, but between top 2 and 3, the gap has also widened with 20 points in between Game Over Esports and DMT.
And with the teams, really, especially for Syndicate, um, now you're down to the last 33 points, and you already sense for Syndicate that there's gonna be a lot of potential threat, and maybe even some the DMT or even Game Over Esports will surpass you. And with that in mind, they actually have to do more. They actually have to bring out their A game, especially the ones that they did during day one and day two. They have to bring that out now, because if they don't, they're gonna be replaced by either DMT or Game Over Esports or even Lons, who has now starting to show. I mean, a while ago they were at 76 points. Right now they're at 97. That's a huge leap. And I said that already a while ago that most of these teams have the chance. Only those that are really at the lowest that are gonna be they only have a little bit of a hope. Really slim chances. But for these teams, especially for Lons, especially with Solly in their team, who have been doing a lot of kills for his team, I mean, that's really remarkable. And for them to move up to number 5, we have 4 more games. I mean, we have a few more games really at this point, and that's just gonna be dangerous. And they have to be aware of that, all of the teams, because Lons is starting to make a move right here.
Yes, and actually, I'm just excited to see how this leaderboard will move in the coming matches. There's only 4 matches left, 2 Erangels and 2 Miramars, and of course, we just witnessed the Game Over Lons's chicken dinner in that previous match. That was match number 2. We have just witnessed the first Erangel map for tonight, and so we will be moving on to match number 3, the second Erangel map. But before that, we will be taking a short break. And so, for those of you who's supporting the stream, please go and to the comments and support your favorite teams, like and subscribe, and share the stream. And for now, we'll be seeing you in a few minutes after the short break.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me. You'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are...
And once again, we are back to the Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. This is the last day of the grand finals. This is day number 3, and we have just witnessed match number 2, and we are moving on to match number 3. The second Erangel map. And Mike, take a look at this flight path. What can you say about it?
We've encountered that exact flight path in day number 1, and I think in this tournament for Erangel, it's really such a curse for them to actually experience this many times. And again, we're gonna be probably looking at a fast-paced game here because the locations are just gonna be very very limited unless if you really want to risk for those far away places and you're still not sure of where the circle is gonna be. So for now, really at this point, maybe landing near the flight path is a double-edged sword. You can actually have that advantage when the circle is revealed because you're near it, or a disadvantage because a lot of enemies will be there as well. But see, we're looking at here now. The circle, it was is in favor of the flight path and will be placed at the lower left part of the map.
And this is an interesting circle because it might end up in Pochinki or potentially the ferry pier as well. And so this will be an interesting circle. This might be an interesting late game. But speaking of interesting, seems that Simp finds their first knock, but that would be an elimination for now because we still see 60 players left standing in this Erangel map. And so that skirmish might have ended well for whoever Simp was playing against, but for now it seems that this is very early on in the game, and so you can expect that these players don't have the best of guns just yet. And so this will be either a test of skill or of luck of whoever gets a really good gun very early on. But for now, it seems that all of these teams, they're out of the woods for now. There are no engagements, nothing showing up in the kill feed, and although NRS rotating out of that area with their vehicles, and whether or not Game Over Simp will try to get those sprays, try to get some eliminations, we won't be able to see that for now because it seems that Game Over Simp, they will be disengaging away with those vehicles.
And really, the pressure is up for all of these teams here, and now there's gonna be more pressure towards Lons because they've shown their capabilities. I mean, they've been showing it since day number one, and for now, NG's kind of like I do commend NG here for being very brave to face them, even though they're not yet very complete yet. But looking at here, seems like Syndicate is already on the move. With two members are just down, but it looks like they're just alive and well because they just finished that clash a while ago. But and if you do look at it as well, for all of these teams, once again, I do recommend the fact that most of these teams, especially with Syndicate, lawns that have been popping off since day number one, they have to give it their all, especially with the Syndicate, that they are now just 34 points, I mean 33 points away from the the second leading group. And when you do get surpassed, that's gonna be hard to try to catch up later on.
Yes, all eyes on Syndicate, the top one, and all eyes as well on DMT, the top two. They have such a good performance and they are so hard to catch up to, especially if you are top three and below. It's just something that you have to really think about. You have 4 matches left. Although the gap between DMT and Syndicate have shortened, it's about 30 points. That just means that maybe top two will just need 1 or 2 chicken dinners or 1 or 2 really good games or maybe 3 good games and hoping that Syndicate has a few bad games, then they will be able to catch up. And so this is a very it's a not so complacent position for the side of Syndicate because they can't afford to make mistakes anymore. This leaderboard, it can tip the scales of very in the nick of time, and so they have to play it very carefully. But all the while, game over OTF, they have spotted DMT and they are just throwing in some grenades, throwing in some smokes, trying to get some position, trying to get some pickoffs. But for now, that won't be happening. But it seems that DMT has lost 1 member on their side.
And looking at it now with DMT here, they could be on the move. But if you look at it, he's kind of separated from the rest of his teammates right here. Fisherman on the bottom side, Carnage right here on the second floor, and here with the rest of OTF, they're also very prepared for this fight, especially that they're being surrounded by DMT. They're kind of at a disadvantage, but if you do think about it, DMT is currently the second placer, and they really have that advantage. I mean, if you compare these teams, they could be at each other's throats. With OTF, they're currently at the 8th place. DMT, again, second place. That's gonna be more on the positive side of DMT, but it seems like DMT right now is moving away and just prioritizing more on the placement points.
Yes, and actually, DMT, they have the numbers disadvantage so early on in the game, but still, they can pull it off. They can pull it off if they just position themselves well and try to get those resources in the bag and play it really well, play it really safe. Think about their positions, think about their locations, think about how they approach pushes against other squads, other potential eliminations. But for now, since they haven't run into anyone just yet and they have disengaged from their previous skirmish, just taking a look at how everyone else is doing, it seems that there's some chip damage over here at the side of MG and NG and Simp, so they might have run into another squad nearby. But for now, Tranquility might be going into the vicinity of NRS, and so we'll just wait and see if they spot each other. That vehicle was making a lot of noise, and speaking of which, Night Raiders, they are taking their positions. They heard those vehicles, and so they will try to snipe those vehicles, try to get some eliminations in the bag, and let's just wait and see if anything will be happening soon enough.
For these teams, really, looking at Night Raiders, they did pop off yesterday. And currently they're at the ninth spot. If they do want to catch up to the fourth, that's they're gonna have to try a bit harder. 14 more points, and then they can surpass Tranquility right here. And I think they can do that if they bring up their A game, just as they did yesterday. Um, aside from the Night Raiders, we're taking a look at NG right now. Um, once again, they were at the fifth spot during the first game for today. After the second game, they were kicked down to the sixth spot, and it's just gonna be another team for NG to face, and that's gonna be Lons, because I think Lons is starting really. I mean, if you really observe from the past few days, Lons usually they kept losing in the top eight spots, usually at that kind of range. But even then, you do kind of Lons kept on going in for the kills. They got a lot of points from that, and now they're going in for placement points, which is very very dangerous. Also, a very good move for Lons if they really plan that, because that means that we were just trying to surprise them. Especially I think they're trying to catch them off guard. With Syndicate, with TMT, with Game Over Esports, I think they're trying to do that they if they're able to maintain this momentum.
Yes, that is the question. Whether or not they will maintain this momentum or not. Because PUBGM, it has a lot of luck into it. Whether or not you land in a good spot and you don't get picked off, that's just something that you can't really control with the game. Especially if you don't get like those guns and those early game engagements, you might get picked off. But still, Syndicate, they're doing really well. They still have a huge gap between them and DMT, but that gap, that gap isn't safe because we still have 4 maps to go, and if DCM Syndicate gets picked off early on, or if they don't get those eliminations and those placement points in the bag, and speaking of which, they are trying to get some eliminations in the bag. That's happening right now. They're trying to shoot at another squad. That might be Crown, yeah, that might be Crown in distance with their vehicles making a lot of noise, and all the while Pew Pew Syndicate, they are doing those Pew Pews as well, trying to get those potential pickoffs, trying to get those vehicles to pop off their wheels. But for now, that won't be happening. Crown will be getting away, but some of their members need some healing.
Now, actually, we're since we're gonna be witnessing 3 more games after this, then this is actually one of those important moments that you have to do, because um after that it's just really gonna be about keeping your spot in line, and with Lona right here trying to make a move for themselves, trying to help the team right here with Yesh trying their best to fight them off guard, but seems like he just entered the house full of Molotov and he has to move out of here, trying to look for play with the angles right here, just trying to avoid every one of them, going in for a couple of sprays to try to fight back, leaving Simp with low HP remaining, and will have to move back. And Lons here will actually go away. I mean, actually get out of here to shoot them down, and that's gonna be a game over for Simp.
And that was a really good play by Lona right there with those 1v1s being won, and pushing into that building with such good strategies, and that just resulted to four eliminations into their name. But still, Lona They lost one member from that, but that's okay because four eliminations, that's a lot. And now all they have to think about is getting more eliminations later on, staying alive and potentially getting those placement points. But speaking of placement points, it's still quite too early to really put our bets because there's still 14 teams left standing in this map and there are 54 players left remaining. Some of these players, speaking of which, are getting eaten up by that stage 2 circle, and so we should expect that a lot of these players will be rotating into the play zone in a few minutes, and so the potential for some of these squads to run into each other while rotating, that's something that I'm looking forward to because so far in this map it's a little bit quiet in the kill feed.
Now, if you take we have to take a look here for NG, which is kind of they're kind of at a disadvantage here, especially with their positioning. They have to move fast to actually get a move on, and it's I mean you're at the danger zone. It's still stage two, however, once you get inside the play zone, it's gonna be hard from there on out because you get the damage from the danger zone. You might also get greeted with bullets when you get inside, and there are more factors to it, and that would probably give NG a hard time to actually go for placement points. Even I mean to actually even win it because right now the circle will actually start to close later on, and the circle is already small and even limited to the part where there's still water. So we might see a lot of engagements later on, especially the teams right now. Only one has been eliminated. So yeah.
Yeah. Basically, LHC, though, they have run into game over. It seems that this might be almost a game over for Rio. They have over here one versus us versus Manko. And one member of Game Over Esports looks like Manko will be going down. Will that be a confirmation? That would be the case for now. But Mighty Suig also goes down. But Salia gets traded off as well. Two members left rather in LHC to make that one last person, and that would be the end of LHC Esports by the hands of Game Over Esports. Game Over Esports, however, they lost one member from that skirmish, and one member needs that revive, but all the while, as long as the third party hovering around them like a bunch of sharks, as long as they are able to heal before TTS Esports spot them, they're gonna be alright. But for now, they have to think about resetting really fast because TTS, they're just around the corner.
And with TTS here, trying to get a move on and really look for an area to go in safely to the play zone. That's what they're doing right now. But for Tranquility side right here, it's looking kind of good for them. They actually eliminated some members already, and that's looking good really. They have that chance, especially that they're in the fourth place. They have to keep that up. They have to stay on that, or maybe even try to surpass Game Over Esports and then TMT and Syndicate. But for now, their biggest obstacle is SDMZ NG and Game Over Lons because they're very very near with their points, and also Cyanide. Once you take that once you surpass them, then you have to worry only for the three teams. But right now, it's kind of looking hard to go to stay in your top four place when Lons and NG are eyeing on that spot, and also Cyanide.
And with that location there, it just might be a bloodbath, a potential bloodbath. But so far, nothing's happening in the kill feed, and so they might be biding their time. They might be trying to get a really good position before they really commit to any engagements. But for now, NRS, they probably have spotted members of Lona. But Lona, they are trying to get away. It doesn't seem that they will be going in for that engagement, going in for that commitment. But Lucid trying to get some
Ooh,
space
another
in,
one.
and that is a knockdown on Izum. Lose him from the side of Lona, and that would be a confirmation. That would be the first elimination to the side of NRS.
And now, with 13 teams remaining, the circle once again, we're gonna go a bit later on to stage four in less than 10 seconds, and I'm very very excited on where the circle is gonna be situated on. And with these 13 teams, once again we might actually see a lot of four parties, five parties even, that are just gonna battle it out. it's even gonna be better if another circle is gonna spawn into a very open area. I mean, you can actually still use the bushes right here, but playing in an open area is just gonna be fun to watch because there's just gonna be a lot of teams that will have to they take different teams out in different directions, and that's such a thrilling moment to witness because you don't know which team is gonna survive. It's usually the luck is kind of there, but also skill is really involved because you have to think about your positioning. You have to think of who to kill, the priority. But looking at here now, OTF goes into the house of the Fen returns. He is greeted with a shotgun bullet right there. Terror X trying to get a shot of his own, trying to get away as fast as possible. But he goes down, and it's just gonna be up to, of course, Aiki right here and Firuti X. Firutiez, right? Sorry. And really, game over OTF with two members down. They have to be wary of this and to actually maybe rethink their steps, especially that now Fed returns are on the move right here with Fook, and now at the bottom right here, we're rescuing the teammates and really having a move here.
Yes, and for now, Fen returns. They are in a little bit of trouble. They only have one elimination to their name so far, but OTF isn't done with them just yet. Oh, I actually those are binary numbers. Mr. Binary Numbers needs that revive, but on the other side, Fen returns. They have just lost Fooch, and now they only have 3 members left standing. Game over OTF. However, they're still at the distance, and between them, these numbers versus another member of OTF outside in the balcony. This will be a 1 versus 1. And speaking of which, Firut also has his own 1 versus 1 here. Positioned outside, and it seems he will get that confirmation. Will he get that confirmation? That will be a no for now. But OTF, they are out for blood, trying to hunt down the members of Fen. But they won't be getting those eliminations because Fen, they are rotating outside and going over lawns. All the while, they also have their story to tell against Game Over Esports and Syndicate and Fen as well. Syndicate third party in that match, however, but there are 4 different squads in this one building, and Game Over Esports gets eliminated from that, but it's not over just yet. Lons Anish needs that revive, but there are still 2 people left standing in their squad, and so for everyone else rotating into the area is not looking really good for a bunch of these members because there's a third, fourth, potentially a fifth party shooting at this one building, and it's just such a mess. And whether or not who will get this chicken dinner, that will not be TTS because they just got eliminated.
And exactly as the 12th team for this map, and now we're down to the last 11 teams, and now stage 5. This is gonna be thrilling once again, and in a surprising turn of events as well. Game Over Esports, being the third placer, they will beat their demise as of now. They will have 3 more games to actually try to fight back. But for now, it's just gonna be they're just gonna be bagging with 6 points only. While the rest of the team here with the Cyanide, the DMT, they're also so very very careful. Lona, however, they will go down as the 11th team for this game.
Yes, and now we're down to 10 teams in the second Erangel map. And so, this is 19 minutes into the game, and it seems that DMP has spotted NRS trying to get the position. Fisherman behind this wall and trying to rotate into where NRS is, but will that be a good idea? It seems he gets away, but not for long. Very low on health, 5% left, and he's getting shot at by 3 different members, but he still gets one in the bag, gets one knocked down, but how long can he stay up for? But still, he has the numbers disadvantage. Sane, where is Sane? And there we go. And that is a knockdown on the side of DMT. Not looking very good. They're getting eaten up by the circle as well. And so, Sane will be rotating out of the area. It seems that his other team members are saying, get away, save yourself. And so that's what's gonna happen now. And so just taking a look at the table, seems a lot is happening. There are 5 different players that need that revive, and so that kill feed is just making a lot of noise. NG, however, they're throwing their grenades at Crown. Will Crown survive? It seems that Joker needs that revive. All the while, Fed returns, gets eliminated, and sprays from Zeke66. Will that connect? It seems that Tranquility, the third party in this team, they're not doing really well well as well. Crown all the while gets eliminated somewhere out there. Wow, those eliminations are just racking up for the side of NG. This is the exciting part of the map. 21 minutes into Erangel.
And now here, if you do watch the last six teams, it's looking good for Syndicate with seven eliminations. Potentially, they could be eyeing here for the chicken dinner, especially that they got a lot of achievements for this game. They have grenade eliminations, pew pew with a domination, and it's really looking good for them. However, for NG right here, at least they're all still alive. For Lons, two members are still alive, and it's kind of a disadvantage for Lons. But if still they keep this up, then they have that chance. For the Night Raiders, however, they did they did actually manage to get a grenade elimination right there, and really, it's just a battle right here as another Night Raider goes into the fray, catching him off guard, and of course, one gets eliminated. However, one member from NG will also get down and will have to move into the play zone because the danger zone is actually getting a lot. I mean, they're actually getting hurt a lot of damage already from the danger zone. So for now, for Syndicate right here, they're just gonna be a lot of advantage for them. They have the higher ground, they have the spray right there. The shots are connecting, and just gonna be up to these three teams once again. Looking good for Syndicate. They have all the members alive. The rest of the teams, I mean, if you talk about NG, one member here, and the rest of other teams, they're also incomplete. And Syndicate has already made a move right here, eliminating NG, and that's gonna be the rank 4 for this game, and it's just gonna be up to these last three teams.
Yes, three teams left, but Syndicate, with all four members still standing. Actually, make that 3 AO got picked off somewhere out there, but for now, Syndicate, they have taken their position. It seems that this will be a three squad late game. And so, Lons taking position in one of the buildings, Cyanide a little bit spread out in two different buildings, and Pew Pew on the outskirts of this compound. Seems that Pew Pew will be making the first move, throwing in that grenade, gives away his location, but Cyanide, will they act upon it? Let's see, it seems that Chanu will be rotating into the area, but he won't be peeking just yet. Pew Pew going down, trying to get those grenades. He knows that there's someone out there, but none of those damages are connecting. But right now, with the bullets in hand, he seems that he gets a little damage on the side of Cyanide. But Lons rotating into the area, saying, "I'm here." But Madu goes down, however, gets punished for that, and Madu will be getting picked off first on the side of Lons. And so this will be a 3 versus 1. Throwing grenades, still have a lot of utilities to go to, but this is nearing the end. Still three squads left standing. Lons, however, only one-man team, and so they are not looking really good. And Cyanide, one person going down, two people going down on the side of Cyanide. Will this be the end? It seems that Pew Pew will be seeing his demise once he gets picked off, but that's not a complete elimination just yet. Ripping it up, going in, trying to get those eliminations. Will he get those finishers on the last two members of CMD? It seems that won't be the case because Anish is holding on to dear life, and with that grenade in hand, will he get the eliminations that he needs? That won't be the case for now, but will that hold true for the rest of this game? We'll just have to wait and see. Mike, take it away.
And now down to the last three teams. Syndicate with two members alive, one is down. Lons, however, with one member each for the Lons and the Cyanide right here. And they're just really using this warehouse to their advantage, just really looking for ways. And now one is to the rescue now for the side of Syndicate, trying to revive his teammate Pew Pew. And now Matt here is alone right here, trying to 1v1 this against the shotgun, and he will fall down to his demise. And now it's just gonna be up to Rips and Pew Pew right here to avenge their fallen teammates. As now as they spot the last member for Cyanide right here to try to fight it off against the shotgun once again. And it's just gonna be up to Blanky, of course, with an SMG, getting a lot of damage with that grenade right there. Goes in for a couple of sprays and moves out. Just really one shot. Another third party goes in, and it's gonna be a win for Syndicate.
No, that was a win for Lons,
Oh my
actually.
god.
Game
For
over
Lons, I'm
Lons
sorry.
bags that winner chicken dinner for this third match. Congratulations. That was an exciting last few seconds of the game. There were three different teams, and I believe actually it was Lons that only had one standing. I had I didn't expect that that one person will end up bagging the winner chicken dinner because they just had that numbers disadvantage, and Lons over here doing really well, shooting up to the third rank out of 15 with the match points of 16, total eliminations of 6. And finally, total points of 113. That is a good contender against DMT and Syndicate, who those two teams currently hold the top two. And these are the individual team stats. This would be Toma with 0 eliminations, getting picked off quite early on, as well as Soli also getting picked off early on. Madu made it to the last part of the game, but still he was the first to get picked off. But Anish, however, Anish, last man standing, gets 4 eliminations to his name and bags the winner chicken dinner for their team.
And really, it was such a it was pure chaos from there. I was really just watching, and I really just witnessed a syndicate and on Lons, and it was such a good move for Lons to actually just look for the perfect opportunity to get inside. When Cyanide cleaned that up with Syndicate, Lons just went in and cleaned, they took over Cyanide, and they won their second chicken dinner. And as we see, we compare that damage right there. Lons with 969 damage, compare that Syndicate with a whopping 2k damage, and still even then they managed to win. That Lons was just very strategic, and they're really going for that. They're not prioritizing on their a lot of kills. Placement points really play a part. They're also going for kills that can be advantageous for them. They're not being too greedy about it, and that's what I like about Lons, because they've been really showing off since day one, especially with Soli. Right now, Soli got eliminated, but the rest of his team, they were just able to help him, to back him up, and there was like, yo, you've done this since day one. We're gonna help you now, and we're just gonna win this. They're now at the top three spot, and they're gunning for the number one spot.
Yes, I agree. This is a team effort, actually. And so, whether or not you get picked off early on, that's something you can't really control. But just looking at the match rankings real quick, Syndicate having 18 points. Although they didn't get that chicken dinner, still those eliminations of 13, it really helped up
Mhm.
to for them to get the most points out of this game. And Lons coming in second with that chicken dinner with 16 points, NG with 13, Cyanide with 11, NRS with 10, Game Over with 6, Tranquility and Lona having 4 each, and OTF having 3. And so, actually, looking at that, Syndicate with 13 eliminations, although they didn't get that chicken dinner, that's still a really good performance. But all we're here in the second part of the table, DMT getting 2 points, LHC, Crown, Fen, and Sim each getting 1, and TTS getting 0. And this is what I'm talking about. DMT, they didn't have a really good game, but still, they're still in their top 2. They haven't been dethroned yet, and so they cannot be complacent. And this is the overall rankings so far.
And three last games. We've already seen these top four teams: Syndicate, DMT, Lons, NG. You have to watch also for Game Over Esports and Cyanide and Tranquility. They still have a chance to actually catch up. Also for Night Raiders, a bit of a slim chance, but they do have the chance to, for the last three games, to give it their all and just really go in for the top four. Syndicate here still widening the gap with 51 points to compare to DMT. Lons is now eyeing for number two spot, trying to take down DMT, and maybe later on they can try to take on Syndicate. For now, we have to take a look at these eight teams that will be battling it out for the next three games. We're at the end game here. The last three teams, it's just gonna be crucial for these eight teams, and we have to look as well for the 9 to 15 teams, which are we can still commend them for the efforts. I mean, they've tried their best, but really at this point, these top eight teams are really just at their A game right now, and they're doing their best to remain on top.
Yes, and that is the plan. They have to, those who actually made it to the top spots, they have to be consistent. They can't be complacent. They have to maintain their spots. All the while, these are the top players, of course: Pew Pew, Soli, Mad, Rio Day, and Zeke 66. These are the names that we've been seeing so many times, and they are still in their A game. They are still performing so well. And so, with these contributions to their team, they're just raking up so much points and just contributing so much to the leaderboards. And that is just, once again, we were talking about team effort. This team effort over here, although, for example, Soli got picked off so early, still the rest of their team, they managed to bag that chicken dinner and managed to rake up some more eliminations. But for now, this is the second in a row chicken dinner of Game Over Lawns. That was the match number 3 for today. We will be moving on to match number 4 very soon, our last Erangel map. But before that, we will be going on to a short break. And so if you're still in this stream, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down your favorite team below. And so, in a few minutes, we will be seeing you once again.
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me. You'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And this? These are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look.
Once again, welcome back to the Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. We are at the Decider Day, the Grand Finals, and we just witnessed match number 3 a while ago. We are moving on to match number 4, the last Erangel map. And once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie, and tonight would be Mike. Mike, what's up?
Now we are down to the last three matches rather, and it's really exciting to see that now the last Erangel match is very merciful to all of the teams. It's evenly divided, but diagonally. I'm excited for that, especially for areas like shooting range, or maybe some would go risk it for Stolber or maybe Quarry, but I don't know if they're really gonna go for Quarry, but Stolber could be a good risk here. Once again, it's looking pretty considerate for all of the teams considering the flight path. And yeah, last 3 games for this series and we're gonna determine the top four teams that are gonna win this all.
And those top four teams will be able to move on to a separate tournament. They will be able to qualify for a LAN tournament with a different prize pool. So do stay tuned to this to Ooredoo Nation's updates to their newses to see how the future tournaments will go, because this was season 3. There will be a season 4, and we will be searching for the next top 4 teams to qualify for the LAN event, and it's just gonna be all the more amazing, all the more exciting. Very looking forward to the future. But for now, we're back to the present. Those teams, those 15 teams that qualified for the grand finals, they are down to their last 3 chances of ever getting points in order to qualify in the top 4. And so far, they're just looting a bit. There's no early game engagements. There's still 60 people left standing in this map, but over here in this area, it looks like there are 3 different squads: Crown, TTS, and another squad nearby. And so whether or not there will be some bloodshed later on, it's something that we'll have to look forward to.
And yes, here, looking at the side of TTS Esports, they could be potentially fighting two teams here. And they have to be careful with that. They have Crown that's watching carefully. They have Simp as well, and it's gonna be a challenge to determine the winner for here. But now Joker takes down one from the side of TTS Esports, and will have to actually avenge them, their teammates, really, since one of them is down. And seems like it just happened as now TTS Esports just took down Crown's Joker, and now it's just gonna be up to these the rest of these teammates to actually go in for the revive. And seems like looking at the other team as well, they have the Simp, they're gonna face that, and behind TTS Esports still Crown.
Yes, and this is three different squads in this area going at it. That was TTS, a Simp, and Crown as well. Crown, you know what I've noticed? They always get those early game engagements. I do not know why, but between Syndicate and Cyanide, they also have something else going up. Like they're firing up, cooking up something in their side of the map. But for now, all eyes on the side of TTS versus Simp versus Crown. Because why have they managed to land in the same compound? That is the question, but that is something that doesn't need to be answered. What I need answered is who will be going down between these 3 squads, because for sure, with 12 different people in the area, this won't end peacefully. And already there's one person down from the side of TTS. And so we'll just have to wait and see what's gonna happen between these three squads later on.
hmm And yeah, I mean, if you do look at it, TTS and Crown, I've noticed they've been at each other's throats. And if you do look at their points as well, they're trying their best to actually climb to the top. And I've mentioned them, they do have the chance, but once again, the top 8 teams really have the most chance of grabbing the top 4 spots, because they have to challenge. I think really the primary goal for all of these teams is to take down the top 4 teams as soon as possible. If they do that, if they manage to do that, they can act freely, they can gather a lot of points, they can focus for placement points, and maybe have the chance to grab the top 4 spots. But for now, looking for the side of Crown and TTS Esports, seems like nothing impactful is happening yet for both of these teams. And for the side of Sim, they're also looking for some enemies that will come to them later on.
And so we have to wait for those enemies to walk past by, and that would be potential eliminations to their side. But over here, Crown, they are rethinking the location, rethinking their position. They are going away from that compound so far because they know TTS and Simp are nearby, and right now it looks like they want to get that position advantage. And so they will be resetting their locations, going a little bit further, putting some distance between those 2 squads. Although Game Over Simp and TTS, they're not done with each other yet. They are just biding their time, trying to see if anyone from the other squad will make some mistakes, and then they're just gonna see if there would be a potential pickoff. But for now, it's a little bit quiet in this compound, so this is just a little bit of a standoff between the two teams, and all the while Crown as a third party in the distance, they might swoop in and try to clean up the mess afterwards, but for now, nothing's happening for them. That's good for them because no team has been eliminated just yet. And so, just taking a look at the table, actually, it's also quiet and everywhere else in Erangel.
Looking at the teams here, very surprising. Syndicate has lost one member already, but in the past few days, Syndicate is also strong when it comes to only having three members, two members, and I think they know how to utilize that in case they really go down early. Then at least they can be a nuisance to other teams when they fight and just really enter as third parties. But for now, looking at all the other teams, it's looking good for them, especially, I mean, all of the teams except for TTS Esports and Crown, which have been battling it out a while ago. And Syndicate, the chances are looking kind of thin for this one.
But still, that's something that we'll find out later on because everyone's just trying to get their locations so far, trying to secure some really good locations, trying to secure those resources in the bag. But still, it's a little bit slow. We're still 7 minutes into the game, 57 players left standing, and so for now, we're just making a little bit of noise with our vehicles, but even then, there's still no second party, no third party coming in. And really, all we can talk about is how these teams are faring so far. But speaking of which, Pew Pew gets some Pew Pew in the bag, spots members of Game Over, and it's game over for them. But all the while, Crown and TTS, something's finally happening in their standoff. It seems that Crown is getting some eliminations in the bag, some knocks in the bag, and CTTS only has two members left standing. But all the while, Syndicate has their own story to tell. Spots game over, but they did lose Mad in the process. And so right now, just grenades being thrown at that game over Sims. All the while, these two squads are getting eaten up by that circle. And so whether or not they'll rotate out of the area or prioritize eliminations, getting those eliminations, it's something we'll find out later soon. But so far, it seems that Syndicate, they're still not in their vehicles, and so they will be getting eaten up by that circle for now.
And exactly here with LHC Esports, who will probably face down OTF, and yes, right here, Minto taking down one from LHC Esports, tries to eliminate, but of course, he's not finished. He hasn't finished them down. The last member from LHC Esports left with low HP remaining, and now Minto is down. Terrex goes in, and another down for the side of LHC Esports, and it's gonna be an elimination for OTF as GOAT, being the GOAT as he is right now, is done magic for his team.
Yes, and LHC got a lot out of that engagement with 4 eliminations. Although they need to revive 2 members, still that is a good number. But all the while, NRS versus Syndicate, but and also Tranquility versus Lawns in some part of the map. Taking a look at the table, LHC, Tranquility, Syndicate, they all have members that need revives, but so far they're doing really well. Either those eliminations are happening. We'll just have to wait and see because there are. What did they just run over? I think that was a vehicle kill by the side of NRS against a PUPO. And now Cyan, the last member standing of Syndicate, they're not doing really well, Mike. Look at that. Only one elimination to their side. They lost 3 members. Cyan is the last member standing. And still, there are still 14 teams left standing in this map.
I've called it a while ago. It was looking kind of thin for Syndicate, though they have the chance to really give it their all. Usually, when they lack members. For this one, it's kind of bad for them, especially now that they got one last member. And probably the best course of action for Syndicate here is to really just disrupt a lot of engagements later on to at least scatter the points. At least when the game ends here, the points are all scattered from different teams. Then at least the increment of all their scores wouldn't be too much that it threatens to the number one spot of Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is Tranquility actually. They have 4 eliminations to their side, but they lost 1 member. And so still they're doing really well and they have a good start on the number of eliminations. Already 4 points in the leaderboard just from that. And we're still very early on in the game, just approaching the 11th minute mark. But so far, just looking at the circle, it seems that we will be having a lot of land. Potentially the circle might go into Gatka, or because that is the central part of the circle, but still that might change. It might go to the north or south, or east or west actually for that matter. But here LHC lost 1 member, and it looks like we might have a standoff between two, possibly a third party as well from a distance, but Cyanide versus another squad, our eyes are on them. They have information against each other. This is Lance versus Cyanide actually. Breaking that window, trying to get a better view. But for now, these two teams, they're taking their position. So far, they have that trigger discipline in mind. They don't want to give out their location just yet. But right now, it's starting. 1 member of CMD getting a shot at Lance. But that be a confirmation? It seems that Cyanide has 1 elimination to their name, but still Anish hasn't seen their end just yet. They get revived, and so Lance will be resetting and will be trying once again to get those shots against CMD.
And exactly here with the rest of the team from Lons, just really prioritizing right now their safety, while the rest of the teams are, of course, prepared to engage with them, And with the rest of the teams, if you take a look at the Game Over Esports right now, they're still looking for the loot and just really gearing up. And now that the circle will shrink again later, then we might actually see we might actually see a lot of engagements. But we do have to take note that this is the last Erangel match for today, even for the last day, and that's gonna be hard if you don't actually rack up points for this one, because for the last two matches, Miramar, that's gonna be even harder to actually try to climb even higher.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Especially for the teams that do better in Erangel, they have to do something now. This is their last chance in Erangel. And so, for the teams that do really well in Miramar, it's their time to shine in the last two maps. But for now, we're still in the present. We are still in Erangel. And so, these 13 last teams still standing in this map, they have to do something. They have the opportunity. It seems that NG has spotted members of LHC all below this mountain, and so they have to do something. They can hear those vehicles. Those vehicles are moving targets, and they know a human being is driving that thing, and so they have their eyes on them, trying to get those potential pickoffs. But so far, with that trigger discipline, they haven't given out their location just yet, and so closing in to the hospital and the ruins and Gatka, the northern part of Gatka, our circle is trying to bring everyone together, and so we might be seeing some potential violence later on.
If you do look at here from the syndicate right here, Cyan, the last member, getting hit by that, and unlocked in amazing turn of events. Unfortunately, he was just greeted by Game Over Lons, which has also been a team that has been popping off. And with that marks the end of Syndicate for this match. And wow, that was surprisingly, even for me, to actually, I thought that Cyan would be able to escape and go actually for heal, but he just really landed in the face of Game Over Lons, which again, they won a lot of chicken dinners even for today. And I think now they really start to feel the threat of Game Over Lons. But for now here, the side of LHC, they have been witnessing a lot of vehicles, and they have no choice but to just fight them or try to get some shots in, but the bullets will still keep them alive. And for now, LHC Sports, they're gonna have to chill it for now, especially that they spot an enemy at the higher ground.
LHC Esports positioned inside this building, although they are getting surrounded by potentially a second team. But for now, Sim will be rotating out of this area with 2 members rotating out of that area rather. But they walk away with all 4 members still left standing. They could have attempted to get some eliminations to their name, but it seems that they won't be taking that risk for now. And for For NG, however, they're still in their standoff with NRS. It seems that they haven't found the opportunity to get those pickoffs just yet. And so, just taking a look at everyone else, it seems that the hospital is getting favored by the circle. And DMT, they are situated within that circle already. And so, they have a really good potential to get to do some gatekeeping, especially to those teams that will have to rotate into this area. And for now, this circle, it's not closing in just yet, but sooner or later they will be forced to move. Because this is stage 4. The stage 4, that damage is a little bit high, although you can still stay out of the circle. It's not a good idea, and so for now we'll just have to wait and see what's gonna happen.
If you do watch here, Game Over Sim, they have that. They're still playing it carefully, and for Sim to do that, it's really looking faint here. I mean, their chances are starting to look slim, especially at the bottom. And for that, I think their best moves are just really to be such a nuisance to other teams, especially to the top 8 teams, because with that, it also adds a surprise element to the series, because you never know what might happen really on who will win, who will actually be the top 4 teams and being the winner. But here with NG, they have the highest ground. It seems like it, though they're trying to connect the shots, but there are just times that they can get shot at and they have to just reposition. With Game Over Esports, they also have that high ground advantage, but they're also at an edge of a circle, which is actually good for them, because at least they're already in the circle and also at the edge, which means they could actually spot some players trying to get into the circle and stop them right then and there.
Yes, that potential gatekeep. And looking at that, there's actually a team that might be potentially running into their spot. But for now, we're taking a look at Tranquility with 4 eliminations to their name. Speaking of which, Cyanide spots members of Fen Returns, and Tranquility also with Simp. It seems that a lot of things are happening so far because that circle is closing in. And so, different battles, different parts of the map. It seems that Fen Returns, they're not done with their skirmish just yet. They are rotating into the area where there's another squad nearby, and so whether or not that will work out for them, it's something that we'll see later on. But between Tranquility and Simp, however, they're also having at it another fray in another part of the map, and a lot of things will be happening because there are still several less than 10 teams, but there are still a significant amount of teams that are still standing, and that circle is going to end up in an open field. And so we'll expect a really exciting battle, but for now, Titan takes down Badman from Simp, and so that is one less member for the side of Simp. But Tranquility is not done yet. They see LHC as well. They're throwing those grenades, trying to see if they can get some pickoffs, trying to get that damage in the bag. But for now, Tranquility with 6 eliminations to their name. Will they get a second later on? But so far, that's not happening just yet. Just some knocks. No confirmations just yet, but those bullets will be spraying. And once again, Tranquility gets 8 eliminations in the bag, completely wiping Game Over Sip away from this map.
And now we are down to the last 10 teams with Fen, 2 members remaining, and TTS Esports, 1 member remaining. Also looking kind of slim for LHC because they only have 1 member remaining as well. And for Cyanide, the rest of the teams, they do have the chance to fight it back here. Fen only got 1 alive, 1 is down currently, and the rest of the DMT, I mean, now that we're at stage number 5, a lot of teams here are already starting to meet each other. They're starting to spot each other. And now it really marks the end for Fen Returns, as now we are down to the last 9 teams.
Yes, last 9 teams, 27 players still alive and breathing. DMT, however, they're not raking up enough points to be significant just yet. They only had 2 eliminations to their name. But speaking of which, Game Over's Natsu's getting shot at. Will he get eliminated? Will he get picked off? It might be possible, but still he manages to survive with such a sliver of hope left in his HP. But all the while, it seems that Night Raider spots Cyanide as well. Cyanide Shamaka goes down by the hands of Moonsip. the side of NRS, but that won't be the end just yet. Cyanide still in trouble. One more member needing that revive, and will that be the end of Cyanide? It seems that won't be the case just yet. Oh yeah, that is the case with an NRS having 9 eliminations to their name. That is a crazy amount of damage from their side. That is a crazy amount of performance. But all the while, it's still not over just yet. LHC, only one member left, and so it's not looking good for any potential engagements for their squad.
And exactly right here with the Night Raiders. I mean, down to the last 8 teams, the Night Raiders here, they're actually at the middle of all of the teams, and even then, even worse is they're at the edge of a circle. It's still such an RNG thing to think about if the circle would not favor them. Though they're in the house, they're gonna have to move out later on if it won't give them an advantage, especially if the circle won't be for in their side. And really, just looking at everything here, we're looking at an open area. A lot of the teams are just waiting for some information and using a lot of grenade smokes to just cover their tracks. But one member from Night Raiders will take down one enemy.
Yes, and it seems that we are in a standstill for now, but that won't be the case for long. And NG trying to shoot at Sane, and Sane taking some damage, but that won't be a knockdown just yet. It's not showing up in the kill feed, and so NG, they will be trying again, but Zeke 66 goes down, needs that revive, and there's only 2 people left, and NG still standing, but Sane can be saved. Although it doesn't seem to be that way anymore because Santi is also getting shot at from somewhere. It's hard to tell because there's 8 different teams still standing, but make that 7. Will that potentially be a 6 with NG getting eliminated as well? That would be the case. And so Tranquility goes down as well. And so this is between 6 other teams: NRS, DMT, LHC, Lons, Game Over, and TTS. Now with TTS out of the picture, this is now between 5 teams. LHC also gets eliminated. Lons, they have 2 eliminations in the bag, but they have all 4 members left standing. That goes through to DMT as well, 4 members standing, but with 5 eliminations. Game Over as well, still alive. 3 people standing. NRS, 1 person needing that revive, and so we can see another takedown. Hunter needing that revive as well. DMT having all 4 members left standing, but they need to revive Hunter if they want to keep that numbers advantage. But for now, 4 teams all taking their positions, trying to get those pickoffs. Speaking of pickoffs, Madu goes down as well, and those grenades aren't stopping anytime soon. But NRS with 10 eliminations to their name, but 2 members on the red, 2 members needing that heal, and they do get that heal. And Mad finally going down, and NRS they are in trouble, but still they are the trouble rather, because they need to revive 2 players on their side if they want a good chance in this late game.
Exactly. And now once again we're down to the last 4 teams. DMT Fisherman right here going for a couple of sprays, trying to connect the shots. Right here finds another target and finds him down, as now Fisherman goes in for the push to avoid the damage of the danger zone. And Game Over Esports, that would be their end as the 4th team for this game. Fisherman are here just waiting carefully for information, though he is at a disadvantage because in the lower ground, and now just preparing to throw some grenades. Game Over Lons will fall down as a 3rd team for this match, and now the Night Raiders awaken, just trying to throw some grenades to catch people off guard, but he almost spots Fisherman right here. If he just walks right there and actually doesn't spot Fisherman, he could be taken out. But for now, for the rest of the DMP, they're at the house. So that's looking kind of good. I mean, for the rest of NRS, that's looking kind of good for them. For DMP, so far, is I'm looking at them in an open area. And once again, NRS, at least some of them are inside the house. The grenades are in, and 1 member from NRS is also down. They're pushing it in. DMT, they have the higher gun, go in for a couple of sprays. The grenade goes in as well, while Hunter is there to help his teammates. And now, once again, 2 members alive, 1 member's down, and it's gonna be up to the last member of NRS, and that will be the end for this match. The winner, of course, goes to DMT.
DMT, absolutely crazy performance, especially if you saw how many eliminations Shisui had. He used his Mangekyo Sharingan to really get those eliminations in the bag. I don't know if 7 was the final number, but yes, that was absolutely crazy performance. But DMT over here, overall rank, of course, maintaining that number 2 with match points 24 and total points of 146. Will this be a potential takeover against Syndicate? Because Syndicate, they actually didn't perform that well in this match. They only had 1 point from an elimination and they got picked off really early. But look at here. This is the team stats of each of the members of DMT. I told you, Shisui with 8 eliminations, 727 damage. That's absolutely crazy. But over here, Hunter having 2, Fisherman having 4, and Sane having 0 eliminations. This is the team that won the chicken dinner and they still maintained their top 2 position in the leaderboard.
Exactly. TMT once again we have witnessed their potential, and now they're starting to show their A game. They're starting to bring it already. We're down. Actually, we're down to the last 2 games, and for this match number 4, we're looking at uh, maybe we're looking at DMT with a glimmer of hope, especially of maybe catching up to Syndicate. But for these teams, really, they're really keeping it up here. Compare that for this match, compare DMT with NRS. The damage is leading more on the DMT. The eliminations more and also the total points, which we've seen in the game that they had the higher ground. NRS, they had the house, but it was also a disadvantage for Night Raiders because the house is a closed space. You could just throw grenades right there, and DMT was just already pushing it and really starting to intimidate them. They had the higher ground, which gave them that win. And also, we have here the MVP that's gonna be Shisui.
Yes, Shisui. I was talking about Shisui a while ago. 8 eliminations, doing really well, putting those points into the bag of DMT, DCM DMT. And now that they shot up several points up, going up to the 140 mark. And so these are your top players for this match. Shisui, of course, with 8 eliminations, and a huge drop between the 2, 3, and 4 places with only 4 eliminations with Lucid, Honey, and Fisherman, and also Goat with 3 eliminations and the top 5. And so these are your top performing players for this match. This is match number 16, the last Erangel map. After that, we'll be seeing once again Miramar, 2 Miramars to be exact. And so these 15 teams, these they only have 2 chances left. And so speaking of which, DMT, of course, 24 points from this match, but coming in second is NRS with 17, Tranquility with 9, LHC with 8, Game Over with 7, Lons with 7 as well, TTS with 4, NG with 3, Cyanide with 2 points. And that is the first half of our table. And going into number 10, we'd expect that there are some teams that will bag maybe 2 points, maybe 1 point only, and hopefully there won't be anyone walking away with 0 points because this is their third to the last chance of placing anything in the leaderboard. And so these teams, they can't be complacent. They have to do something.
hmm And for these teams, really, keeping now that we're down to the last 2 games, they have they have to give it their all. I've been saying that, and I will still say it again. They have to give it their all at this time to really secure their spot. They could still go. They could still try to reach higher, especially to the top 5 to top 8. But once again, if you really want to be part of the top 4 teams, you have to give it your all. Um, the rest of the teams and just really try to take them down. For this match, it worked against Syndicate because Syndicate again at the top of the game right now, and they had to kick them out as soon as possible. It worked for that, and again, trying to lessen the gap for DMT and Syndicate.
And just taking a look at the overall
Mhm.
rankings, Syndicate's still practically unreachable, but still DMT, they are slowly getting there. They are slowly also building their own gap against the top 3 lawns with 120 points. And still, there's still a lot of chances for maybe the top 5, 6, or even 7, or even 8, actually, for that matter, to catch up. And just one good game, one game with a chicken dinner maybe, or one game with at least 10 eliminations, that could turn the tides, that could give you the chance to step into the top four. But so far, Syndicate, they still doing really well. That goes the same with DMT as well. And DMT, yes, they bagged that chicken dinner for match number 16 with 24 total points. Moving on to the next part of the stream would be match number 17 and 18. Two Miramar matches, the last two chances for these 15 teams to make it to the top four of this grand finals. But before we move on to that, we will be taking a short break, and so we'll be seeing you after a few minutes.
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And this? These are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And this? These are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
And once again, welcome back to the Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. This is the grand finals, day number 3, the last 2 chances for these 15 wonderful teams. Once again, we are your shoutcasters. My name is Annie, and tonight would be is Mike. Mike, how are you?
Thank you so much for that, Annie. Once again, 2 more games. Both of these are Miramar maps. And I'm just really excited on which teams are gonna advance and end up being at the top 4. For all of these teams, their goal is to reach the highest rank as they possibly can. For the rest of the top 8 teams, which you've seen their points, usually they're at the 3-digit mark. The goal of these 8 teams, first of all, the goal of the 4 teams is to keep their spot or go for a higher spot. The goal of the top 5 to 8 teams are to try their best to actually take over and to be at the top 4 places because their points are near, and that's what I'm excited about. To know, it can be very very thrilling. But for the top 2 teams, their points are a bit of a they have a bit of more point gap, so they have to keep that up if they want to stay there, or else the other teams will just catch up.
Yes, definitely. These teams, these 15 teams, they can't be complacent, especially those who already secured their spots in the top 4. They cannot be complacent because just a one mistake and a one really good game from those below them, they could be overtaken, they could be dethroned from their spots. But so far, these teams, these especially the top 3 teams, they're doing really well into putting a gap between them and those going against them from below their positions. But so far, this is the Miramar map, and so we witness 3 Erangel maps. Sometimes there are some teams that usually do well better in Erangel, and sometimes they fall off in Miramar. And hopefully, we can see some teams shining in these last 2 maps. But whether or not that's gonna happen, we'll just have to wait and see later on.
The the map Miramar is such a good way to end a series. The last 2 games are gonna be Miramar. A Miramar which is big of a map. That's good. For a lot of exciting moments, a lot of thrilling moments. And with that, Miramar also has more mountain ranges, which means a lot of ways for players to actually look for openings and kill points. With that, they can use a higher ground advantage. Some could hide just beneath them, and it's a surprising way to end the series because it's you don't know which teams are just gonna be at the top 4, especially for the top 3 to top 8 teams who we don't know. Maybe some of the 5th to 8th teams are just gonna try to overtake and to start occupying the last 2 spots for the winners. And the first and the second, they all know that they have to keep the distance up, and with that, really, it's just a challenging game to see.
Definitely hope to see some challenges here between Syndicate and Fan. Fan immediately gets one of their members knocked down, but still, Syndicate, they already found one eliminations to their name, chasing another, chasing one more member of Fan, but they won't be getting that elimination just yet. Fan hanging on to a thread. Some more HPs going down, and that would be an elimination. But for now, it seems that Fan returns will not be returning in this second to the last map of the finals. And TTS, however, they have lost one player, but they still have one elimination in the bag. But it's not gonna be over for them just yet. They have a Molotov thrown at their direction, and so far we can see there is a possibility that this other team, Lona, will be pushing into their position very soon.
It was very unfortunate for Fan Returns to end Game 5 for today, to end Game 5 like that, to be the last team, and in just 3 minutes. That's such a sad way for them to end it like that, because game number 6, it's gonna be really just impossible for them to reach top 4. So what they usually do is just try to aim for at least a higher rank. But yeah, it's really looking bad for them. It's such a sad way for that to end. But for now, we will focus onto the game and actually check out all the other teams, with OTF following right on as being the top 14th team for this game. And we've actually seen a lot of early engagement, so we don't know. I mean, here TTS Esports are also going into the fight right here, trying to help his teammates. And against them, that's gonna be Long's one member is also down with a shotgun waiting right at the door as he gets greeted by it, and he goes down. Aku, that's gonna be an elimination right there. The rest of the members, TTS Cloud as well, it's gonna be up to him while also waiting for that revive. But of course, low health right here for the side of Lons, and he's just really waiting for the perfect opportunity. He might go for a heal right here, but he's gonna be waiting for the rest of his team.
And very uncharacteristic of a Miramar map. Already 12 players down so early on, but that's not over just yet. TTS, will they find a 13th player to be eliminated in this map? It might be possible because TTS rotating into the other part of the building gets one. Will they get the last member of Lona? That would be the case because it's game over for Lona for now, with the victory of TTS in the bag.
Exactly. And now we do take a look at Crown right here. They're still gathering up some loot. Though we've kind of we witnessed how they played, and really it could be part of they could be part of the bottom teams right here to end. But really, at this point, they could be just aiming for a higher ranking, and that's still good for them. Especially, at least they get to learn a lot, especially from all of these teams, and to really just expect to look at all the teams from Lona. Also surprising to see it that they have to end it easily at this point. And yeah, for now, they're gonna have to go for a gearing up phase and really just hoping to prioritize some more loot before they go for.
Yes, you have to prioritize bagging those resources first in order to have a good chance at the late game where everyone will be congregating. But still, it's not going as well as the other maps because we had 15 teams. But for some reason, before the 5th minute mark, already 3 teams have gone down. And so these players, they're excited. This is the second to the last map of the grand finals, and so they are out for blood. They're thinking, let's just be aggressive now. There's nothing left to lose, but actually there is a lot of things to lose. But especially if you are in the top 3, top 2, top 1, you have to play it safe. But for those in the top 5 below, it's something that they have to risk. They have to get those eliminations, they have to go aggressive because this is their one of their last chances. They have to get those eliminations and those placement points as well. And so for now, it seems that it's a little bit quiet now. Nothing happening in the kill feed so far, not even in the tables. No one's losing any health. And so we're back to the gathering phase, getting those gears, getting those resources.
And now looking inside of Tranquility here, also one of the contenders for the top four. And again, they could be playing it wisely here by focusing on the placement points while also grouping together when a fight ensues. Because once again, you're really aiming now for the top four, and it's such a crucial thing to deal with, especially with the last two games. That these teams just have to give it their all. As simple as that. Simple to say, but very hard to execute, especially that all the other teams are also giving it their all.
Yes, and they have to give it their all. This is the we are almost at the end of the grand finals, and so everyone has their eyes on the top four of this match. And so even I am kind of excited, and I'm kind of nervous to see who will come out in the top places, because Syndicate, they have a really good chance, especially if they do well in these last two matches. They have a really good chance of keeping their top one spot. And that goes the same with DMT with their top two. It seems that they're doing really well. They've done really well in the last few Erangel maps, and they've raked up enough points to secure their top two with a little bit more to spare. And also top number three, they have a significant amount of points as well. But for top number four, I'm a bit nervous because there's a lot of teams below the top four spot that are kind of just waiting for their time to shine, just waiting for the top four to make a mistake and potentially lose their place in the leaderboards.
Now we get to take a look at here for Syndicate, which is surprising also to see that they drop at the very far, like far location to the circle, and their challenge right now is to get inside the play zone. And if they go down once again, another surprising moment to witness, as that could be possible for DMP to actually surpass them. What happened right there? But
What?
yeah, back to my point. Really, if Syndicate manages to survive this, they have the chance. If they do go down, then DMP has the chance to surpass them.
Yeah, that might be the case, but that's something that we'll find out later on, because for now we can't really tell for sure. Oh, what? TTS just suddenly got picked off. Did that just happen? I didn't see anything in the kill feed. Maybe that was a late change or late graphics, but let's just see what's gonna happen now, because we're still in the 10-minute mark, 43 players left standing. And it seems that a lot of these teams are doing really well so far. Syndicate having 4 eliminations to their name, Lawns as well 4, but they did lose one member, and Simp, they have 2 eliminations. And so for these teams, they're so far doing really well in the penultimate match of this grand finals. And so for now, we're moving on to the stage 2 circle. We're gonna see stage 3 later on, and so hopefully we can see something exciting happening soon.
In the side of NG here, also another contender, which I'm also looking forward on how they would end this series. For NG, it's sort of unpredictable way for them, because sometimes they can pop off, sometimes no. And I think it also depends on how they coordinate as a team, because the rest are also in that kind of level but better. And for that, NG, they have to, I think more, it's really more on the team side here, and to plan it out on where they go for rotations, where they go for the picks. And with that, really, it's gonna be hard for NG if they can't improve that, and maybe they won't get inside the top four, especially all the other teams are already at their A game, trying their best to remain at top four, and even trying to go higher as they take down a few of teams. And now, just looking at the side of Game Over Esports as well, they're at a tight spot. They started good since day one. They really started good. I remember them being on par with a Syndicate. But right now, it's looking kind of rough for them because they've been surpassed by a lot of teams. But looking at the points a while ago, they do have the chance to surpass the other teams as well.
Yes, I agree. There still might be a chance to turn the tables around, especially if you're around the 90s mark in the total points. Because it's still the top four spot, it might be for the taking for a lot of teams, especially if especially if maybe the top three, it might be possible to surpass them too. It might be possible to dethrone them, but that's just something that we have to see later on. But for now, we're not gonna make assumptions because it's still quite early on in the game and it's still a little bit quiet in Miramar. But hopefully we can see something exciting happening because the standings, they could change really soon. Tables can turn really fast. The scales could tip, and that will all depend on how these 15 teams will fare, will perform in this map and the next map as well. Because speaking of perform, Lon's doing quite well. They only lost one member and they already have four members in the back. But it seems that Simp is also making noise with their vehicle. Is this a chase? We are seeing a chase,
There we
but
go.
Simp, they are out in the open field. But this is a one versus one. Toma goes down, but he is surrounded by everyone else in Lons. But still, wow, second person down inside of Lons. Will that be a third? That is a complete elimination of Lons by the hands of Reno. Wait a minute. I was so shocked. I'm pretty sure Reno was all alone over there, but the rest of Simp, they finally rotated into the area, into the fray, and it seems that that was how they managed to turn the tides. They actually surrounded Lons from all sides, although there was one member of Simp that was just a sipping duck. But Lucid over here, they are in trouble, and it seems that Lucid will be losing their lives. And Tranquility, they're lining up their crosshairs at NRS. Will they get another elimination? They had their first. Will they get the second? That won't be the case for now because they will be resetting their positions for now.
I really want to talk about the situation for Game of Verlons. They actually had the chance to actually push it even further to the top four, and it's these are also other teams, especially other teams from the top 9, top 15. They're also one of the major factors that most of the teams that are gunning for top four won't make it, is because a while ago they launched charge right into a team. It was Simp, and Simp was just eliminating them like easy peasy. And thinking of Simp, usually they're at the bottom half, but them destroying the momentum for Lons, it really hinders the chances of Lons to actually garner a lot of points to reach to the top four. It was very unfortunate for them, but also a very remarkable move for Game Over Sim for stopping them.
Yeah, Schemer over Simp, they really executed their strategy well because the three members of Simp, they actually came in quite late into the party, but that worked out for them because they managed to surround Lons, who were targeting the first member. That was Reno, I believe. They surrounded Reno, they tried to take him down, but in the end, they got gunned down because they were none the wiser, knowing that there were actually other members of Simp coming to the rescue from all sides, no less. But over here, DCM, it seems that they already lost Hunter, but they still have three players still left standing, although they're not doing really well in terms of eliminations. But that will change. That might change really soon with a Simp. I believe this is Simp or what is this? They are nearby and they are getting shot at by Shisui for now, but none of those bullets will connect, and so we will just have to wait and see if there will be an elimination on the side of DMT really soon.
The MT here has a lot of advantage, especially that they're in the house. But you're also in a map like Miramar where there's a lot of higher grounds to deal with. And with that, it also puts them at a disadvantage. But right now, we get to see the perspective of Syndicate as they now charge into the fray here, just battling it out here, getting some kill points, charging right in mad. But in a change of events, he falls down. There's the Syndicate members. Yu goes in to shoot these bullets. The shot's connected, however, he is left on low health remaining, and as well, he has to heal that up. Of course, he has the full kit, and that would be enough for him to buy some time to actually fight them later on. And again, rips as well inside a hut from here and just really throws a grenade from there and puts them down, and really just waiting for that domination as well from Mad, and just really, I admire the move right here for Syndicate to just really charge straight into it, though they might actually be against three teams around them. We got Tranquility, we got NG, and we got a lot of members especially. But for the side of NG right here, just going in for a couple of heals before they charge back again with two members remaining for the side of NG, Syndicate with three, and of course Tranquility with three. One is down, just waiting for that revive button, and of course once again, just really excited to see on on the conclusion for this engagement later on.
Yes, and it seems that there is quite a mess here in this area around the southern west part of this circle. It
We
seems that
build
there are
down.
four different squads congregating and some shots being fired, but so far the kill feed is a little bit quiet. Syndicate will be rotating out of the area trying to get another good location, but over here NG, little bit of damage on their side. One person needing that revive, but this will be game over for Sim for now in some part of this map. But for now, LHC trying to get some bullets into Syndicate, but they won't be getting that just yet. NG all the while gets eliminated from somewhere out there. But game over esports. They have finally joined the fray, but they have one member needing that revive. Although they do have one elimination to their name, but in a turn of events, Syndicate gets eliminated as well. But it's not over for game over esports just yet. They are shooting at NRS, but none of those bullets will be connecting rather. But here NRS also, they have something else up their sleeve, do they? Because it seems that there is a game over at the distance, but Night Raiders, will they get the opportunity to shoot and potentially get some eliminations in the back? That's something that needs to be answered later on. But for now, that answer is no. Game over is still, they're still safe and sound inside this little building. And for now, we have 6 teams left standing. Crown, NRS, Game Over, DMT, LHC, and CND. Who will come up and who will win that chicken dinner? For this second to the last map of this grand finals, that is the question that needs to be answered now.
Exactly right here. We witness LHC Esports trying their best to fight, but they do have a bit of a disadvantage, especially with the way that they seek cover. Is that it's gonna be a very open area. They only have that hay bale there, and we kind of witnessed we kind of saw that grenade fail right there. But of course, Game Over Esports still trying their best to hold on to it as they battle the rest of the teams as well. NG, who might, NRS, who might face them with Desex right here, left with low HP remaining, will have to go for a heal. But now the rest of the team for Game Over Esports are charging straight into it with the grenades prepared. And of course, as they enter into the fray later on, NRS will just have a little bit of HP and just enough for them to finish off. And really, it's looking good for Game Over Esports right here. 4 members alive. Also surprisingly good for the side of Crown right here with 4 members alive as well. DMT, it's looking kind of bad, especially we have 2 members alive. LHC and Cyanide, looking good with 4 members alive once again, and NRS with 2 members alive.
Still lots of people left to be killed, but Suit over here on the knockdown. There are 2 members left in Crown that needs that revive. All the while in Cyanide, we're still seeing that one member that needing that revive, but still, they still have all 4 members left standing, and so it's looking good for their squad. But over here, DCM, only 2 people left standing, but they did bag 2 eliminations already. And so, with the numbers disadvantage, what can DMT do at this point? But taking a look at Game Over, it seems that one player is on the red, needing that revive, but Crown over here trying to get those sprays. They actually made it to the top 6. Finally, something good happening to Crown. Usually, they get picked off early on, and so I'm so happy to see them here. But over here, it's not done for Joker just yet. Shooting at maybe 2 or 3 different squads from all directions. This is the mess that this Miramar map has made. And now Blanky trying to throw a grenade point blank, but it seems that it's not gonna hit anyone just yet. And so from a distance, I see Crown losing a lot of health, but now we are down to our top 5 teams. Top 5 teams left in this Miramar map, and Cyanide's not over just yet. They're trying to shoot some bullets into LHC, none of them connecting, however. But now, we might be seeing something different really soon. Hopefully, once some of these players will be going down by the hands of the other.
And Now we get to see here from Cyanide here trying to connect the shots. Of course, it won't be enough to kill them, but now it's kind of looking bad for them since they got a bad cover right here. They can get spotted easily, but while that was happening, we are now down to the last three teams. Once again, Cyanide still a bit of a low chance to win it here, especially that they're gonna have to move it later on, and they're gonna get exposed. It's just gonna be a very hard time for them to actually win it with this one. And also the rest of the enemies here. Again, 11 players remaining, and then from the Cyanide side, they're at a disadvantage. If you look at the game over esports as well, they're prepared. They have the shelters they cover, but for now, for the side of LHC, they're also at a disadvantage because again, I think it's really favors on the side of game over esports as of now. They have the advantage with the cover. With LHC, they have to move. With Cyanide, they have to move. And already, one member goes down from the side of Cyanide, leaving, of course, Kaisa trying to get a kill of his own, gets some damage, but of course, that wouldn't be enough. And the rest of the team here trying their best to make it out alive.
Yes, and they have to make it out of life if they want something to happen for their team, if they want those points. But speaking of alive, it seems that we are down to two teams left. This will be over. Will this be over for Game Over, or will this be over for Cyanide? Because so far, Game Over, they need to revive two players. But on the side of Cyanide, they need to revive one. But still, that was a vehicle elimination, and that will end with the victory of SDMZ Cyanide. Congratulations for taking down Game Over Esports and getting that winner chicken dinner for the second to the last match of this grand finals.
Exactly. Another congratulations right here to Cyanide for winning it, and now they're at number 5. And yes, this is what I've been talking about. Very very exciting for the last games, especially later on, which is gonna be the very very last game, to actually see and actually think about on who which teams are gonna make it to the top 4, because for the top 1 to 8, they're at the 100 point mark, and usually for the top 3 to 8, they're usually near to against each other. So it's exciting to see on that one on which teams will end up in the third and the fourth. For the first and second, the gap is pretty big. um Still very very surprising for Syndicate to lose a while ago, very early as well, because at that point it's they could be really be threatened by DMT if they manage to catch up. But for now, so good still for Syndicate to actually have that point gap, which they have been working on since day one. For now, we give the spotlight to Cyanide, who have been trying their best as well, and maybe just maybe make it to the top 4.
Yes, making it to the top 4 is the goal for this grand finals. But so far, what can you do with that goal with only one match left before your last? This is your last chance, or rather, this is your last chance. Match number 8 will be your last chance to bag any points for this grand finals. But taking a look at the comparison between Cyanide and Game Over, the last two teams standing. This will be the damage going in for more on the side of Game Over with 1,500 points. Nox going once again for Game Over with 7, just one more than Cyanide. And of course, they have an equal amount of eliminations, but still Cyanide and Game Over, they did a really good job. They both did a really good job, but in the end, it was Cyanide that won against Game Over, and so they just get that chicken dinner for now. And of course, for everyone else in the running for the other 15 teams, of course, once again, I'm just saying this again and again. Finally, this will be the last chance for them to bag any points for this grand finals. And speaking of the MVP, this will be Shanu with 4 eliminations, 649 damage, 2 knockouts, 1 assist, and 191 heals, with a survival time of course, 17 minutes and 11 seconds. And so, for that would be from the side of SDMZ Cyanide, our winner chicken dinner for this second to the last match.
And once again, congratulations to Cyanide for that winner chicken dinner. And of course, match 17, we have our top players. That's gonna be Shanu with the first And up next, That's from the Game Over Esports, Natsu. And now here we have also from the DMT, that's Sane. From Tranquility, that's Titan. And from Syndicate, that's Man. And really, a while ago, though Syndicate was defeated in the middle part of the game, they were still able to get a few more kills, and it really just shows that Syndicate are also doing their best to just stock to gain or to garner as many points as possible to just widen the gap. And here we have really the scoreboard with Syndicate again 7 points after their loss in the middle part of the game. If you also look at the other teams, Cyanide once again with 16 points, especially with a chicken dinner, it really helped them a lot. Game Over Esports here with 12 points to be followed by Crown with 9 and DMT 8 and also with LHC.
And those are the top 9 teams. And taking a look at top 10 to 15, of course, unfortunately, they couldn't get the points that they needed to really boost their standing in the leaderboards. For example, TTS and Lons, they did have 4 points. And NG and Lona, they get 2 points. And OTF only getting 1 point from this match. And unfortunately for Fen Returns, they return with 0 points, but still, these teams, I'm excited to see the overall rankings because that's where it really matters. You can finally see where your team stands and if there's even a chance of making it to at least the top 4 of this grand finals. And so for those who already secured their places up in the leaderboards, it's just something that you have to maintain. You have to maintain and hope that no one surpasses you from below. But of course, this was match number 17. This is the first Miramar map for today. And of course, we'll be moving on to match 18, Miramar number 2, very soon. But for now, before we see the final match for this grand finals, we will be taking a short break. And so, for those of you tuning in, don't go anywhere. We'll be seeing you in a few minutes.
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, Zelme? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me. You'll break it.
Go. Hello everyone and welcome back up to me, Moon, exchanging Moik for a second right here. I'll just open the game, not cast, but yeah, here's it. We're gonna go to the last match of the day, and that is in Miramar. And yeah, let's go to my partner Moik and Annie in game.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Moon. And I'm excited to see this final match of this grand finals. This is the last chance for these 15 teams to even get the chance to bag at least a top 4 in the leaderboards. And so once again, Mike, what are your expectations for this ultimate map of this grand finals?
I want to take a break for a while because I wanted to give a huge shout out, of course, to Moon. I mean,
Yeah.
huge thanks, of course, to him, and of course, Dio as well. I mean, we're heading up to the last match, really, and it's gonna be the deciding factor who gets to the top 4. But once again, I'm still caught off guard by that introduction from Moon. Once again, thank you so much, especially for having me around, for having Annie around, and with that, really starts the last match of today. And now we get to see the flight path for Miramar in this match is evenly divided. I mean, a bit on the left side, but nevertheless, it's evenly divided. The circle, however, is at the right side with a lot of water taking that space, so it gives a little bit limited space for the rest of the teams to stay.
Yes, and of course, with that flight path, actually, with that circle as well, going into about maybe 30% water, that might be something interesting for later on. But for now, it seems I can see there might be a potential engagement in the northeastern part. But so far, no one's showing up in the kill feed just yet. And so these 15 teams, they're pretty safe for now. But I'm just looking at the number of players that are still standing. It might be in the 50s. Either some teams didn't come in with all 4 members or someone got picked off early on. But we're gonna find out later on soon once we kind of say hi to the different teams, because so far we're still very early on to the game, so everyone's just trying to gather up some resources, their best guns, their best gears, and trying to secure some locations. But over here, NG, they are nearby another squad, and whether or not we'll see an early game engagement, that is something that we will be seeing really soon.
Exactly. And talking about these teams, since this is the last match, and we get to finally know the top 4 teams that will be rewarded, of course, with their efforts. We have to actually think more on the rest of the teams here. Like starting with Syndicate, they're leading currently with a whopping 179 points. But for now, we'll talk about the later. seems like there's gonna be a early engagement. They're all thirsty for these points as NG is already charging here, destroying everyone, destroying LHC Esports, and looks like they're really gonna be putting an end as early as possible in this match. 3 minutes into the game, and definitely LHC, I mean NG here are really charging it in.
Yes, NG already wiping out an entire team less than 4 minutes into the match. That is absolutely crazy. Like you can imagine in their eyes, in their mind, they just have that aggression. They just have that violence and that bloodlust coursing through their veins right now because this is the last match. This is the last match. Everyone is so excited to see how this will play out. This is just everything that these 15 teams have worked so hard on, and now this is their last chance to bag any points to try to get up into the leaderboards, get their team up into the leaderboards, boost their rankings, boost their positions in. But for now, this area is actually having three different squads. So for now, we can see Lona and TTS at a distance. And so whether or not they're going to take their positions into a possible engagement, we'll see that really soon. But for now, Lona having one elimination to their name. It's a really good start, but we will just have to see if Lona will have any plans on pushing into TTS. But TTS Cloud, actually, their health is quite down. And so we might be seeing some grenades being thrown here and there. And we can see one down on the side of TTS. But Yaish gets shot at as well. Manu getting those shots in as well. But will this be the end or Lona? It seems that there are 3 people down in the side of Lona. CLS, Malakas, and one more member. Will this be a knockout for this team? Will this be a full elimination? It seems that TTS is still alive. TTS still has 3 members left standing. But Lona, lone wolf of Lona, Rive XI, the last man standing. Will he be able to get a snipe, get an elimination on TTS? That is the question. But for now, he's having that trigger discipline, just one after the other, one bullet. He gets Cloud, however, and now will he get a second one? Will he get a second elimination? It seems that this is just a knock though. But will he get that second elimination? We'll see that really soon enough.
And with Game Over Lona right here, especially they have the advantage here with the weapons. Just really looking, of course, it's a very powerful weapon to wield, especially in this map because a lot of mountain ranges, a lot of higher ground to use, and now that Game Over Lona has that power into their backpacks, of course, and seems like of the rest of the team are also charging them, which ended their streak right there. Still a sad way to end for Game Over Lona right here. But if you do look at the other the other contenders, the other teams, so far so good for all of them. Only 2 teams have been eliminated.
Yes, only 2 teams got eliminated so far, but still, it was an exciting first few minutes of the game. And so, for now, everyone will be trying to rotate into the eastern part of the map. That's where the circle will be. So, for now, there's only a few players that got picked off, but still we already saw the end of 2 different, I believe that was 2 different teams that got picked off so early on. And so this is a good start, but not for those 2 teams, however, but this is a good start for everyone else. And so this is their last chance. Once again, I cannot stress that enough, because this is their last chance to bag more points and try to potentially boost their names up in the leaderboards.
Exactly. And with that, really at this point, for the rest of the teams, they have to just give it their all here. I mean, Syndicate, they have been leading, and I was talking about it a while ago. The only way for them to be stopped is for DMT to go all out. And that's just really the only way. The rest of the teams, they have no chance anymore to actually stop them on their tracks, to actually surpass them. The only way is to just keep their spot at number 3, number 4, while the rest of the teams, the Cyanide, Night Raiders, Tranquility, and NG, they have 121 points, 115, 114, and 113 respectively. They have to give it their all to at least be part of the top 4, because right now Game Over Esports have 125 points to be followed by
Game Over Lawns with 124 points. They're currently the third and fourth spot holders, and with that, there's still only a little bit of point gap right there. That the fifth and the eighth teams, they have fifth until eighth teams, they have to really try their best to be part of the top four teams.
Yes, and that's the plan. That is the goal for now. But for now, Tranquility shooting at a member of Simp. Will this be an elimination? It seems that would be the case. And Titan bags one elimination to his name. And so far, Simp, that one member of Simp was just a pick off because so far the other members aren't in the area, and so Tranquility will be rotating out of that place. They do have the vehicles for that, they have that luxury, and so for now it's a little bit quiet once again. 49 players left standing, 13 teams, and we're still not even 9 minutes into the game, and so in the spirit of Miramar, this is a map with a lot of elevations and a lot of open fields and a lot of buildings. And so the priority of these players during this mid game, once they have those resources in the map, they have to rotate into the safe zone, into the play zone, and get those really good locations, just secure some really good locations and some buildings so that whenever whenever there might be some potential engagements and some potential squads running into their area, they'll be ready. They'll be ready for any pickoffs, any clashes, anything, just to secure those eliminations in the back.
Exactly. For the rest of the teams here, especially with Game Over TF, the best they can do right now is to inflict a lot of damage to all of the teams to at least disrupt their momentum. And here we can see actually Fen Returns could be doing that as well. Especially it's just hard for them to be a part of the top four teams right now. But for now, being the nuisance to all of the teams trying to be at the top four slots, then of course they're just gonna have to disrupt them even by just gunning them down. And I think Fen Returns is also doing that, which is very very commendable.
Super commendable, especially those teams that already started off very strong in this map. For example, NG already bagging 4 eliminations to their name. TTS, on the other hand, they did get 4 eliminations, but they lost one member in the process. And so, with Tranquility, with one elimination, and Lona, they already got picked off, but at least they have 2 eliminations to their name. And that was the end of Lona actually for the whole finals. And Badman, they go down with some sprays, but TTS Cloud also in a bit of trouble, surrounded by the members of Fan. Will this be the end of Cloud? It might be the case, and 2 members down on the side of TTS. There, Aku trying to get some shots into Jumbo, and he gets it. He gets that knockdown, and now that would be a complete elimination as well. But there's still other members of Fen at the distance, so Aku takes out the grenade, tries to throw it, tries to get those damage to connect. Will that happen? It seems that Fen will still be in the safe part, and they will be rotating out of the area where Aku is, but they don't know. They don't know there's another member of TTS hanging around, and so Shafu, what will you do? Will you push? Will you throw a grenade or will you spray? That is the question. And so we are gonna see what's gonna happen now. They get spotted. Fen tries to fight back, but Shafu waits. Is that a knife? Is that a knife in your hand? That's not a good idea. Well, guns out and he's down in the ground, but he gets shot at instead. And that is the end of TTS for this grand finals.
And now really it was I do get the knife pull out right there to gain more speed really to actually maneuver and hide from them, but it was just unfortunate because he was just the numbers disadvantage. But over here from Game Over Esports, he almost got spotted. I mean, the rest of the team from Game Over Esports right here are really doing a good job in grouping up together as a team and maybe wreak havoc later on, because Game Over Esports, they have the chance to be a part of um, top four. They just have to maintain their position right now and maybe aim for higher spots. That's it for them. But if you do look at the map right here, a lot of teams are gonna be greeting each other later on, and the circle is really starting to shrink and it's starting to hurt.
Yes, that is definitely the case because that circle is getting really small, and it's about maybe 15% water, and so there's a way littler land area for these 11 squads still alive to kind of get get their territories, get their positions in. And so this will be an interesting match. But for now, just taking a look at the map, I can already see three different squads. And actually, this red squad right there in the is on the western side. They have their bullets just trying to shoot at some area over here. NG spots OTF. Will they get that elimination in the bag? We will see that very soon. But so far, OTF, they have their vehicles and they're rotating out of that area, trying to find a better position. But NG has the same idea. They're giving the chase. They're giving the chase to through four possible kills. But over there, OTF, they spot NRS from a distance. That's where they were going, and they are going for those kills, for those eliminations. But so far, they only find one. And will they find another? That will be the case because now we are in the open field. Game over OTF versus NRS. Guns out. And this will be a potential 4 versus 3. And so NRS takes some damage. One going down in the hands of Game Over OTF. And actually, Game Over also has their own skirmish somewhere there around the map. But taking a look at OTF, so far, this will be between OTF and NRS.
And here, if you do look at the OTF trying to gun them down, trying to disrupt them, the Night Raiders, as they make their way to the top 4, and it seems like one of their obstacles right now is Game Over OTF. They have the major disadvantage right here. We have the lower ground here, while OTF is just gunning them down from above as they rain the bullets down from the sky and end them as well. OTF right here making their mark as well, trying their best to score as much points as possible, while of course Night Raiders is left with one member remaining.
Yes, with one member remaining, what can you do with only one member remaining? OTF, however, they walk away with at least 3 members. Yes, that is 3 members still alive and kicking, but for DMT, they have this really good position above the ground, but Tranquility and Cat say the same for them. They are taking some damage, but Titan is still alive with one elimination to his name, but Maxi is in trouble as well. He needs to heal, and his location was revealed. He was getting shot at by another squad. I'm not sure if that's TTS because there's okay, that's NG, but there's another squad behind them as well, and so they have to think about that. They might be continuously getting shot at, but for now, the MT they find one. They find one elimination in this beautiful elevation that they have. But how long can they get those pickoffs since they are in such a safe area that number one, you have less risk of being picked up, but on the other hand, it's harder to get those kills, and so TMT will have to make a decision whether or not to rotate out of that area or stay there and just play it safe and try to get those eliminations in the bag.
And yes, exactly. As we move on to the later stages of the game, which, by the way, the circle is really starting to threaten all of these teams outside of the play zone. And now we might actually see a lot of engagements from here on out. And this is actually the last of the last engagements from here on out. Again, all of these teams, they're gonna give it their all. It's just gonna be a nerve-wracking experience for all of them as they really take on the spot and try their best to be included in the top 4. For now, it is looking good for Syndicate. All is alive. I mean, all members are alive. They don't have the kills, but I do understand that they want to go here for the placement points. With that, because the gap here for their points is just really massive, that they're just really aiming for some placement points and of course kill points from here on out. But for now, the rest of the teams, they're really trying their best to be a part of the top 4 players, and again, it's just exciting to see on how they will do it.
Yes, and I'm also excited to see how these teams will execute their last chance in this final spot. So far, Crown finds one knock on a member of Syndicate, and so now Syndicate, actually that was a full elimination. Matt is completely eliminated out of the picture, and now Syndicate, they're down by one player. They're only a 3-man left. But that's not stopping them because they are about to rotate into the area where That was Tranquility a while ago, but now they all have their eyes on OTF. OTF somewhere there in the distance in the elevation. They might be meeting with Syndicate, but for now it seems that there is something else happening between DMT and another squad. Actually, DMT, they have their scopes up so wide and they're such in a high elevation, but still they are getting shot at, but they find some eliminations. Crown at the distance in the bottom in one of the buildings. They have a pretty good location and they can have cover against DMT, but how long can they hold out from that point? That is gonna be the question, and that's gonna be the question for the other 11 teams still standing in Miramar right now.
For Game Over Esports right here, they're really doing their best to keep their place. I mean, they're currently at the top 3 spot with 125 points. For them to catch up to DMT, which by the way, they're also doing some kills for themselves. They're trying their best as well to prevent Game Over Esports from getting a lot of kills. But for now, DMT again getting a down onto another enemy right here. And if you do look at Syndicate right here, they're just being very careful at this moment. For OTF, surprisingly, they're popping off. And again, they have the chance to actually rack up a lot of points here. And that would actually, while that was happening, Night Raiders will be taken out of the picture. As now, if you do look at the position, the ranking, however, of OTF, it's looking kind of rough. So it's really too late for them to be a part of the top 4. Um, Still commendable action really to be a nuisance to a lot of teams just are trying to get inside the top 4, and I think that would be a stop for the Night Raiders as they were just recently eliminated.
Yes. And with that elimination, that just leaves 10 more teams left in the game. And so, will that be another elimination? That is between Cyanide and DMT, somewhere around there in the map. But here, oh, Cyanide, they have their crosshairs against members of that would be DMT actually. They are trying to get those bullets in the bag, and Syndicate they get some members down from the side of DMT. And all the while Cyanide has their own story to tell as well, trying to get those bullets to connect, but that's not happening just yet. Until now, OTF Sciente from a distance goes down by the hands of a member from Cyanide,
Ooh,
but
there we
still
go.
it's not over just yet. Seems that Crown and Lons also has their own skirmish, and now the standings are changing. Crown, they need to revive one member, and one member left standing that's still healthy, but Cyanide, they find NG as well. How many squads are in this area? 10 teams in a very small area of the map. OTF in a bit of trouble. Cyanide finds them, and will that be enough? That might be the case, but there are several other third parties, potentially fourth parties and fifth parties in. But Ben, they get eliminated. However, that's with Crown as well. Now that leaves 8 teams left standing, but the kill feed is still going. It's still going. Cyanide getting one kill after the other, but now Shamaka gets knocked down, needs that revive, but still their team bagged 3 eliminations. NG bags 5, and so this is exciting, Mike. This is the exciting part of this final map.
Exactly. Looking here for the side of OTF once again, almost it's. I mean, they have to pull off a miracle here to be a part of the top 4. But if you do look at other teams as well, with Syndicate, they're being very careful. They do have 3 members remaining. Tranquility as well, trying their best to, of course, be a part of the top 4 once again, because currently it's being occupied by Game Over Esports and Game Over Lawns. Again, they're talking about them, they also have some points of their own, but for now we're gonna have to focus once again here for the side of Lawns. They're still alive and kicking. They just have to keep this number 4 spot with them, or maybe try to kick Game Over Esports from that 3rd place and actually replace them. But for now, the grenade elimination will go down for the side of Tranquility right here. I mean, it's not an elimination, it's still a down. They're still gonna confirm that kill. But for now, for the side of Game Over Esports, Natsu is on the run while Tranquility is hunting him down. They go to inside the house, and now the shots are connecting inside. Tranquility goes in as well. They got him up. They go in for the follow-up. game over. Natsu still tries to fight for his life, but he will be eliminated by Tranquility. Syndicate, however, will try to do a cleanup right there as they switch to their guns and shots. They're trying to connect right there, then just moving, just trying to avoid the bullets, but that would be an elimination as well from them. Now we are down to the last three teams.
After just a blink of an eye, only three teams are left. Three final teams in this match, and this is the most exciting part. DMT, they're trying to get those shots at members of Cyanide. Cyanide, they're also having the high ground, the good positioning compared to DMT and the Lons. And Lons, however, how are they faring? They are midway. They can get shot at by both teams, but Lons Toma with the grenade out tries to get the damage in, but will that hit anyone? It seems that would be a little bit of chip damage on the side of DMT, but that won't be enough. But Soli needs to be revived. Toma on the red as well. Now we're down to one last member still healthy, and that is the end of Lons for now. And it seems that we're down to two. We're down to two more teams. Final match of this grand finals. This is a 4 versus 2. Cyanide having that numbers advantage, and it seems that TMT, they're not stopping. They're not letting this numbers disadvantage stop them. They are in the distance. They are putting a gap between the two teams, but Cyanide, they are also out for blood. They so far have 6 eliminations to their name. They have a really good chance on bagging this winner chicken dinner. But of course, we saw before Mike, that just because they have the numbers advantage, it doesn't mean that they'll immediately win the chicken dinner. We saw that in Lons with that one last person left standing. So right now, this is what's exciting, Mike. I'm so excited to see who will come up alive in these last few minutes of the match.
Now here, DMT is of course overall rankings. That's they're second, and with that, that marks actually the last member for DMT. Cyanide is pushing in. If they manage to win this, they could actually be a part of the top four. And even now, I mean, they're just really pushing it in. They know that DMT is left with one member remaining. They have no choice, and they even ram it up with a vehicle right there, ending the match with a winner chicken dinner for Cyanide.
That is a buck Cyanide. They win that winner chicken dinner. The last one for this grand finals, and such a great performance coming from their team. And still, these 15 teams, once again, they had their own group playoffs, and they are all at least in the top 5 of their own group. And so, of course, we can expect that these grand finals would be completely exciting. And so far, right now, this is the stats of SDMZ Cyanide. Overall ranking we'll know later, but the match points will be 18, total damage 1,937, total elims of 8, and total points of a whopping 139. These are the individual team stats. Shamaka having 1 elimination, Haisam having 0, Shanu having 2, and Blanky having 5. But look at Blanky's damage, 698, but on the other hand, Shamaka had 700. So this is the match summary: 55 eliminations, 54 knockouts, total healings of 7704, 2 grenade elims, 24 assists, and 1 vehicle elimination.
With Lons, this is actually very thrilling to see because Lons is currently holding the top 4 spot. They have 124 points. That was a while ago. Here with Cyanide, they had 121 points. You add their points right now, 18, and we still don't know how many points the Lons got, but it's just really exciting to see at this point and who gets that number 4 spot. Before we talk about that, we'll also focus first on match number 18, with of course the MVP goes to Cyanide Blanky, which by the way, very commendable. A lot of eliminations from him, a lot of knockouts from him as well. The heals are there as well, and the damage 698, and that really that's really a lot of contribution for the team of Cyanide.
Yes, absolutely. True, because if you're the MVP of your squad and you bag so many eliminations, that's a lot of points that goes into the leaderboards. And of course, top 2 goes to Zeke 66, DMT's Sane having 2, Saku having 3, and Rex or X's actually, that would be 3 eliminations as well. These are your top players For match number 18, they did a really good amount of damage and, of course, contributed a lot to their team. And this is the last match rankings. C and D, 18 points. And coming in second would be 12 points from NG, DMT having 9, Lons having 8, Game Over having 7, alongside with TRQ and Syndicate, all having 7, OTF having 6, TTS having 5. So far, this is just the first half of the table, and you can tell because top number 9 bagged 5 points, so that's a really good performance. But I can't say the same thing for the bottom 3. They walk away with 0 points. That would be LHC, NRS, and Simp. All the while Fan, however, bags 4 points. Crown and Lona both each bag 2 points from this match. And so, Mike, this was match number 18. That was SDMZ Cyanide. The second, actually, chicken dinner in a row. They did really well in Miramar. So, what can you say so far? Are you excited for the final leaderboards for tonight?
Exactly. I am just excited. I am thrilled. I do have my guesses already on which teams bags that number 4 spot. Yeah, I mean, based on the match points a while ago, it's really just exciting to see the final confirmation of all the teams and their rankings. And wow, expecting it's for Cyanide to be a part of a top 5 teams, that's already remarkable. We've already seen we've already seen a lot of their progress already from day one. But for now, in the overall MVP, that's gonna be solely from Lons, from Game Over Lons. I've mentioned about him a while ago that his efforts really shined, even though they kept losing. But overall, to the end, they did manage to get a lot of a lot of chicken dinners as well. They managed to get that, and really, it shows that also his teammates were able to back him up.
Yes, and actually, this is a team effort, but still solely. I keep seeing his name
Yeah.
in the top players. It just is such a good maintenance of that a top one in the top overall players. So that means that's just consistency on his side. But speaking of consistency, once again we see Pew Pew in the top number 2, Madi top number 3, top number 4, Game Overs Ryu Days, and top number 5, Tranquility's Titans. These players, I keep seeing them in the kill feed. They're just performing so well, and this is the price of all their hard work. And so
Mhm.
I'm just really excited to see Mike. We're gonna be
Oh
seeing
my
the
god.
second runner up really soon.
Oh
And
my
so
god.
I'm really excited to see, and that would be SDMZ Cyanide. With those two last chicken dinners in the bag, they managed to boost themselves up as the second runner up. Winner chicken dinner 3, total elims of 69, placement points whopping 70, and a total points of 139. Did you expect that, Mike?
Man, yeah, I mean, I've been counting their points, and it's just really exciting to see that they are now the second runner-up. I mean, I've said a while ago, Cyanide. We've seen hints of them popping off since day one, and now day 3, they just really went in all out and just surprised us being now the third placer.
Yes, and now we might be seeing the first runner-up release soon. So I
Who's it
want
gonna
to
be?
see who that will be, and that will be
Mhm.
DCM's DMT. Okay, Mike, we expected that. Of course,
Yeah.
they maintained that top
Mhm.
2 spot, and so of course, with that kind of performance from them, that's just to be expected. And so, with 2 winner chicken dinners, total elims of a whopping 93. Can you imagine placement points of 70 and a total points of 130, 63 rather, 163 total points. DCM, DMT, their players, Hunter, Shisui, Senso, Fisherman, and Sane. Especially this Hunter and Shisui, I've seen their names a lot in the kill feeds as well. They deserve this, Mike.
Mhm.
They deserve this as first runner-up spot.
Exactly. And if you do think about it, really, DMT, they really went in from day 1 to day 3, and they just really maintained that. They really kept that to themselves and really just, again, pushing it slowly and surely, and it did manage them to get to the first runner up. But now, of course, we're gonna give of all the spotlight to the champions of course, of Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3, and it's none other than
Dun, dun, dun. Was
DCM
that a surprise?
Syndicate.
It was anyone surprised? Is anyone surprised? Of course, it is DCM Syndicate, the champion of the Contender Series Season 3. Congratulations to Syndicate's Mad, Pew Pew, Rips, Ayo, and Zion for being the champions, the best of the best of these players that participated in this championship with 4 WWCDs, total items of 114, placement points of 72, and total points of 186. Mike, you've been praising Syndicate all this time. What can you say?
I mean, really, they do deserve it. I've seen them even since day one. They won the first chicken dinner. They ended that day by winning the last chicken dinner. To be followed that up with a day two and just really pushing it until the end. They've maintained, they've widened the gap, and it was just really unexpected and also respectable placement for Syndicate to be at. And here we actually have the overall rankings. Once again, that's gonna be Syndicate to be followed by DMT, Cyanide, and Game Over Lawns will be at the fourth place to be followed by Game Over Esports. Also a bit on the I've seen that Game Over Esports really did try their best, but in the end, Cyanide was just able to just push it through to the end. And now also to be followed by SDMZNG. Also here for the number 9 to number 15, that's gonna be Game Over OTF, TTS Esports, LHC, Lona, Crown, Fen, and Sim.
Yes, and of course, if you don't make it to the placement that you really wanted to get, those top spots, still you don't walk away from this
Mhm.
empty-handed. You still have that experience. You still have you can still brag that you got into the top 5 of your own group stage. And so just participating here in the grand finals, that should be like a huge honor. That's for my side, okay? It's a huge
A
honor,
lot
and
of
it's also
learnings
a
too.
huge honor. It's a huge honor to also be casting for Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. There had been two series that had passed already, and so the top 4 of each of those series will have a chance to also compete in a separate LAN event. And we'll be having a season 4 as well. And their top 4 teams will also be participating. But so far, this is the end, Mike. This is the end of the grand finals with the championship of none other than the ECM Syndicate. Do you have any final words before we end the stream?
I mean, all of us we really would love to thank you, of course, to the viewers, especially to everyone who showed their love and support to all of the teams. It really gave them courage and motivation to push it through, and it did pay off to some of the teams. Though for other teams, they can really just try more and really learn from this, especially that it's still a good game for all of this, and everyone just showed their best even until the end. Mhm.
Yes, I completely agree with that. And so, thank you so much to everyone who participated, all those teams who participated, those of you watching the stream and supporting Ooredoo Nation, as well as the teams and the players and everyone involved. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for everyone behind this organization for making this tournament possible. And of course, once again, this is Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. We were your casters. My name is Annie and Mike, and this is Mike rather. And of course, this is the end. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you once again in the future. But for now, we'll be saying bye, good night, and thank you for tuning in.